Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros. This is the Fantasy Football live stream. It is me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and it's week one. We did it. We made it. We're here. Andrew Erickson, underdressed compared to me, is ready to go, but I came ready to go. I'm a professional. Andrew Erickson wearing some, what does that t-shirt even say? What is that?
Duran, baby. Let's
You don't
go.
even know who that is. Do you
I
even
know that my parents saw them
name
live a couple days
name
ago,
three
and I got the
Duran Duran
t-shirt.
songs?
Hungry like the
T-shirt.
wolf, ordinary world, reflex, baby. Let's go.
All right. Well done. If you can't name three songs, that's my new standard. If you can't name three songs of the band, you can't wear the t-shirt. John, of course, working behind the scenes for us today, working this live stream. If you've got questions, we've got answers. Drop them in the chat every single Sunday. We're going to be live here on the YouTube channel, 10 a.m. Eastern, for you, answering questions. Then 11 a.m. Eastern, answering questions. We're going to be answering questions in the Discord. We're going to help you set all your lineups. We're going to give you everything you need to feel empowered to make good decisions, because that's what we're trying to do here. We're also going to have a lot of fun. This is about fun. Fantasy football is fun. Last time I checked, I know it's less fun for people who have Cooper Kupp and Travis Kelce. Let's talk about that at the top, because I think it's very important. I want to run through some of those injuries. Mark Andrews not playing today. Christian Watson not playing today. Jerry Jeudy not playing today. Travis Kelce did not play Thursday night. And Cooper Kupp not playing for the next 4 weeks. Andrew Erickson, Cooper Kupp on IR now. He's not eligible to come off of it for 4 games. Your thoughts on the Cooper Kupp situation? Is it time to cut your losses and move on? Or do you just stand your ground and wait and hope that somehow Cooper Kupp comes back healthy and contributes in 23?
Hope is not a winning strategy, in my opinion. So I would be trying to cut my losses, because I think that ultimately, how is he going to burn you? Puts up like a Keenan Allen-esque season. So if he comes back and he's healthy and is productive, okay, he could probably be like a back end wide receiver 1. But I think that right now, for what you can get from him, what the allure of Cooper Kupp is, you can probably just get similar production to that anyway. Like, I'm pretty sure you can get someone that can help your team now, or someone that you think can help your team later on down the road, like a Breece Hall, for example, that I think that you'd much rather have stashed on your bench rather than Cooper Kupp, who, let's be honest, seems like more of a ticking time bomb than a lottery ticket when it comes to Cooper Kupp. So I don't have a ton of him, because I was scared off by the first time he got the hamstring injury.
You were the most afraid of anybody I knew. That happened, and Andrew Erickson was on his couch with a blanket over his head. He had some sort of hot tea, and he was shaking and rocking back and forth after the Cooper Kupp injury, and he's like, I'm not taking him. I can't take him anymore. It was amazing. And you know what? Your instincts were right. So your chamomile was working for you that day over the Cooper Kupp. So well done, my friend. And this is why you have the tools. This is why you have my playbook, so you can start to look at things like the trade finder, the trade analyzer, look at what some of the values are. If you haven't already, download my playbook, sync all of your leagues. That way you can start to look for these trades for guys like Cooper Kupp, see what the value is out there, make your moves, set your lineups. The waiver assistance there too. It's going to help you starting tomorrow, and also the lineup assistant to help you set all your lineups today. So right now, if you haven't, download the app. It's everywhere. Or go to fantasypros.com/myplaybook. We have the tools. You have the talent on your roster. Let's get them all together and make the best decisions. Okay, Andrew Erickson, let's go. Let's start getting some questions here from the people. The Peachel? It's like the fruit people, the Peachels. Jackson Tribe. I've already been talking for 2.5 hours. So this is just this. Let's go. It's week one. Let's go. Let's start with Jackson Tribe. Start Jamal Williams or Cam Akers in a PPR. Erickson, who do you got?
Jamal Williams for me. I think that we're going to see a guy touch the ball 20 times, play 80, 90% of the snaps, and that's just a very, very high floor that's really unmatched, and he's got touchdown equity in this offense that should put up some points against the Titans.
Justin Sorge. Hey, guys, got 2 for you. Start 1 full PPR. Javonte, Pierce, Brian Robinson.
Brian Robinson and probably Javonte for me.
Okay. Sit 1. Musgrave or Likely, Musgrave or Waller?
Sitting Musgrave.
Sitting Musgrave. You like Likely today? You feeling the Likely?
Yeah.
I like the Likely too. I got to say. I love the Zay Flowers in DFS. He is so cheap. Odell's not 100% healthy. Mark Andrews on the field. Oh my goodness. I'm excited for Lamar Jackson's. I also bet the total on the over, by the way. In case you missed some of the Betting Pro shows, they're over there on Betting Pros YouTube. Watch the show that I did with Chris Meany and with Andrew Erickson on Friday, the prop show. There's money to be made there. Just go bet all of those. I did. Let's go. Danny Hernandez, Drake London, or Rashad White in the PPR. Who do you have?
Rashad White.
Rachaad White. Why? Just because you think that negative game script?
I just feel more confident with running backs overall this week because there are question marks
Okay.
about how wide receivers are going to command targets and new offenses with new pieces around them. Where it's like, I think it's just better to play it safe and just play your running backs. Like if you're playing a starting running back, their volume and touches is just, I think, more of a guarantee than trying to take shots on wide receivers like Sky Moore, for example, like on Thursday night. Like it looked like he was slated to get a lot of targets, and that did not happen at all. So instead, be safer, take the running back who you know is going to get carries, going to get targets. So for me, that's probably why I'd go with Rachaad White.
Andrew Casillas. Good to see Andrew back. I love it. I love seeing the names back here, by the way. I love y'all watching the shows live. This is the best, man. This is our little fun community where we get ready for week one. We get hyped up. It's good to see all you back. Andrew Casillas, Addison, or Zay Flowers, full PPR. There's only one correct answer here, Erickson. Give us the correct answer.
Zay Flowers.
There you go. That's the correct answer. Good job, buddy. P-Bud, PPR Flex, Cam Akers, Drake London, or DJ Moore.
Cam Akers,
Cam Akers, Drake London, or DJ Moore. I'm leaning towards Moore here. I don't know what your rankings say, but I'm on the Moore bandwagon here. I think Moore and Justin Fields hook up for a big one today.
I would go with DJ Moore.
All right, that's 2 for 2 there. Joe Tedder, T. Higgins, or DK Metcalf, 10-team PPR. This is an interesting problem to have.
Metcalf.
Why so quick on the trigger?
He's playing the Rams. Name a Rams defensive back.
Next question, Matt.
Next question.
I mean, I can, but nobody cares. Matt, it's way funnier for me not to answer. Matt Carmody, Watson or Geno, Deshaun Watson or Geno Smith today. Geno over, you say Geno?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why Geno over Deshaun Watson? Watson has possibly more rushing equity in him.
Geno runs two.
He runs two.
He runs two.
As much.
I mean, he's got his trio of wide receivers against the aforementioned Rams defensive backs that we still don't know the names of. So
there you go. So somebody get a name of those defensive backs. John, get us all. I want all the lists, John, of all the names of the defensive backs for the Los Angeles Rams. Also, I just talked to Derek Brown. He thinks this guy's going to have a huge day. It's A.J. Brown. So make sure if you want a chance to win an A.J. Brown jersey, we're giving away. It's signed by A.J. Brown, not Derek Brown. Thank goodness. It loses value if it's signed by Derek Brown. A.J. Brown, however, gains value. This Eagles jersey can be yours, courtesy of bettingpros.com. Your place to start betting smarter, not harder. All you need to do is subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel right now. Comment below with a question in this video. That's it. That's all you got to do. And don't forget, click that little bell till it goes ding so you know you can be alerted when new episodes happen here of the show. And, of course, the live streams. And more to the point, if you're the winner of this jersey, look at it. A.J. Brown, beautiful. Wearing the way whites there. Very cool. All right, let's get to the next one here from Tomas Pachorek. Hey, guys, would you start Khalil Herbert or Pierce in a PPR league? Can't wait for kickoffs. Us too, Thomas. How about you, Andrew? What do you want to do here? Mr. Damian Pierce or Mr. Khalil Herbert?
Khalil Herbert. I want no part of this Texans House of Horrors against the Ravens. Get out of here with Pierce. Pierce is going to be a buy low after this week, but this is
all right,
not
how
the
about
week.
Carl Spackler? That's a great name. I hope he's like a contractor with a name like Spackler.
Yeah, he's got it.
Yeah. Hey, if you've got home issues, call Carl Spackler. He'll come to your house, he'll fix your walls, he'll do all these things. Carl wants to know full point PPR, DJ Moore or Mike Evans. I'm going DJ Moore here. I'm not touching Mike Evans.
DJ Moore.
Do you love it? Like the poor Mike Evans. I don't mean poor like because he's poor, but like Mike Evans has such a great career. And like he's gonna go out like this. It just feels like, they don't want to pay him. I don't blame him.
So do you think he's probably gonna get traded? Like that's what I probably think is gonna happen. And then it's gonna be stock up for Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. What do you know?
No, it's forget stock up for Mike Evans. Mike Evans, I think is dust. I think it's over. And it's a
why,
great.
Why is he dust?
Have you been watching the last 2 years? He does not look good.
He's not that's not his game. He's not a separator. It's never been his game. Yeah, he's
I understand,
1,000 yards every year.
Right, but the older you get, the harder it is to separate. Like it's like I'm in my 40s now. It's harder for me to separate from the couch. Even I can barely separate from that. Andy H, pick 2.5 point PPR. Pierce, Robinson, Williams. I can only assume Jamal here. We're talking.
So 2 Robinson and Jamal Williams. Don't start Damian Pierce. Enough of the questions of Pierce. Don't start him. Like you can't start Damian Pierce.
Andrew Erickson has laid down the gauntlet. Don't start Pierce. What are you doing? It is a bad game script for him. There's no way about that. I gotta say, like this is 3 bad rookie quarterback situations for these guys making their debuts. I kind of feel a little sad for them. Like, I think it's going to be a rough sledding. I'm still optimistic about all 3 as the season goes on, but this week 1, I think is going to be rough on the rookies.
Well, it's going to be in my opinion, it's going to be the roughest on Bryce Young. I really don't know.
I was just going to ask you, who's going to look the best of the 3? I think it might be Stroud, even though they're going to lose.
Yeah, I think because the Ravens secondary is pretty bad, so I think that he's going to have some good throws, and he has more weapons to work with than Bryce Young. Bryce Young has another rookie receiver and a 33-year-old Adam Thielen running routes, and he's injured.
Who's not 100%?
Dude, I honestly don't know how the Carolina Panthers are going to move the ball. Like, I'm like trying to figure it out in my mind. Like, how are they going to get first downs? Like, I don't know. So I'm very concerned. And then, yeah, Stroud I think can do some things against the secondary for the Ravens, and I think Richardson is going to make some plays with his legs, and that's going to be the major of his highlights. But he's going to finish like 9 for 20 for like 100 yards, like just like not good efficiency passing numbers from Richardson.
What's the rushing yards for him? You want to give him 45?
Yeah, he's gonna get. I mean, like the props have him at like 46 rushing yards, and that seems like really aggressive for a guy making his first start. But this is what he offers and brings.
I don't think it's aggressive. I mean, look at the number. I did not know that number in all fairness off the top of my head, and you said it's 46, and I said 45. Like that's the number.
But when people talk about him in fantasy, they're not thinking that. And it's like, well, why would I start Richardson this week? Because if he's going to rush for that's a touchdown. Like,
I was going to say, if you're rushing 45 yards and he has a tutty, that's good enough to start. He'll be QB 12, even if he's 9 for 20. All right, Treyu, Jamal, or Connor, half PPR?
Jamal Williams. Easy.
All right, let's go back one here. Hamish, I need 2 full PPR. Deontay, Sutton, Dotson, or Goddard. Sorry, Hamish,
2?
I had to do it.
Probably go with Deontay and Dotson.
Yes. That's correct. Let's go. All the Jahan Dotson. By the way, Jahan Dotson plus 230, anytime touchdown scorer against the middle of that Arizona Cardinal defense. Ooh-wee. Let's go. All right, next one here. Let's go Ben. Ben Andres, PPR, Sutton or Lockett?
Lockett.
Are we concerned about Sutton against that in that situation here? We know Judy's going to be out, by the way, in case you're joining us. Judy's out, so Sutton and Mims are going to be the main 2 targets here, but you don't like Sutton as the main guy, right?
I mean, he's going to get targets. He'll probably lead the team in targets. Just a matter of what does he do with them. Like he's been having trouble finding the end zone. So I think that he's more of a floor play rather than a ceiling play. I think that he's fine, but I like those other guys more.
The end zone is actually on both ends of the field. So if you're ever having a hard time finding it, you just turn one way or you turn the other way, and there's the end zone. Ahmed Sharifi, let's go Mims or JSN full PPR. Here's an interesting one.
Mims.
Douglas Elliott, Kincaid or Musgrave?
Musgrave.
What about Jaden Reed today, too? He could be an interesting streamer, don't you think? With the Dobbs health and with Watson out, I think Jaden Reed might get a little bit more work than people realize. He is, by the way, minimum salary over on DraftKings today at $3K. Your thoughts on Jaden Reed? I mean, can he pull away with 4 catches for 60 yards or something like that?
You know how much I love Marvin Mims, right, Joe? I like Reed more than Marvin Mims.
What? I'm not prepared for this early on a Sunday morning.
I love Jaden Reed is an older prospect. So for me, it's someone that I think can take on a bigger role in week 1. Like, I think that he's ready for this. Like, I'm not with Mims. He's a younger player. So, okay, how bright are the lights for him in his first game? I expect big things, but Jaden Reed is like, he's ready to go. Like, I expect him to hit the ground running. No Christian Watson. Dobbs is banged up with a hamstring injury. I think Reed is going to be Jordan Love's number 1 target this week, and he's playing the Bears. Like, this secondary, I'm not afraid of any of these guys in the secondary. So I think Reed's going to be the guy that could see double-digit targets, honestly, this week.
No fear, Andrew Erickson. That's what happens when you wear that Duran shirt. It just brings out that animal, that wolf in you. You're just, he's on the hunt. He's after you. All right, let's go to Jesse's question. I'm going to have that song in my head all day now. Likely or Ferguson? This is a good one, too.
Likely. Not even close for me.
Really? Why? I mean, with the way Dak has favored tight ends in his career, why not Ferguson?
Well, it's a different offense, so you don't know if Jake Ferguson has the same role.
The same quarterback.
Yeah, but he may not be on the field as much as Dalton Schultz was in a different offense. Like, that's something you have to... And he's competing for targets with Lamb, Kupp, or Cooks, Tony Pollard. Like, Gallup. There's a way more other... Gallup. Who's likely he's competing for targets with a rookie wide receiver and 2 guys that have never been healthy. And we've actually seen Lamar Jackson throw the ball to like go with what you already have seen happen. We've already seen Lamar Jackson and Isaiah likely have a connection and be productive together in real NFL games. Yeah, Ferguson flashed at times last year, but he's never been someone that Dak has always leaned on, especially against the Giants, where I don't expect that game to be high scoring. When you talked about taking the Ravens over, okay, so where are these points coming from? Isaiah Likely, tight end in the red zone. Let's go. I think it's easily Isaiah Likely.
All right, let's get to Creighton Life. Likely or Gerald Everett in its game with a high total today?
Likely.
Okay, let's go to James, Musgrave or Ingram. Oh, there's going to be so many tight end questions today. I'm starting Ingram over Musgrave.
Yeah, I guess my question is back to this person is if you drafted Ingram, like why are you already jumping off the bandwagon? Like,
excuse me. I think the reason why they might be is because they think of, well, without it's that thing that everybody does. Well, Watson's not playing, Dobbs is hurt. You know, where are the targets going to go? He's going to have to throw somebody. So all of a sudden, it's the elevation of Musgrave and the allure of what he could be instead of what Ingram is, which is your fantasy league average tight end. I'd rather go live and die with my fantasy league average tight end than get a 0. That's my concern.
Yeah, I mean,
and I don't think Musgrave's a 0, but that's the logic. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah, but again, like if you drafted Ingram, you must have had some
saying
confidence.
It's right. You just asked. I'm telling you.
I'm playing Ingram. I drafted him. I wanted to start him as my tight end.
And I am agreeing with you. So there you go. Caleb, full PPR. Mixon or Dobbins? I'm going Mixon here.
Yeah, Mixon.
All right, Jonathan Gallegos. Connor versus P. Ryan. Flex PPR.
Connor. I'm worried about P. Ryan this week, honestly. I'm worried about his just overall long-term, because the way they're talking about Jameel McLaughlin or whatever his name is, like, what's P. Ryan's role on this off? Like, is he just going to be blocking?
No.
Is that what he's doing on offense?
I don't know.
So P. Ryan is someone I'm very interested to see what kind of run he gets today. And if we were just wrong about him actually being like the direct backup to Javonte and he's in some weird role that's not actually fantasy relevant.
Martini Grows, 10-team PPR, 10-team half PPR. Need a flex. Mike Evans, Rashad White, Brandon Cooks, or Brian Robinson.
Rashad White.
There you go. Iji. I think it's Iji. Ijai? I'm doing my best here. Flex Brandon Cooks, Breece Hall, Juju Smith-Schuster. Which one?
Cooks.
Okay. I think in 2 weeks that answer is going to be Hall. JH, Likely or Taysom Hill?
Likely.
I don't know if Taysom Hill is going to be a thing anymore.
Dude, I literally don't have an answer to Taysom Hill question because I don't know. It's like no one knows what he's going to score. No. Like,
let's go to K. Kelly, Mostert or Javonte in the full PPR. Now, Mostert's interesting this week. Again, high total. You know, you don't have Jeffrey Wilson. You have A-Chain, but not Wilson. You also have...
Well, A-Chain may not play. They're expecting him not to suit up.
Oh, they expect him not to suit up now. Oh, well, here you go. Mostert or Javonte?
Mostert. Again, okay. This guy's going to be broken in a couple weeks. Play him while you got him.
It's the Michael Thomas rule. Solo Har 24, full PPR. Sutton or Ayuk?
Ayuk.
Tony Fullman, Mike Williams or Jamal Williams? Pick your favorite Williams and a half PPR, Erickson.
Jamal.
Really? I can see Mike Williams having a big day today. I don't think that game is going to disappoint. If it does, I'll be surprised. I'm not fading it in DFS, but I'm not attacking it like everybody else is. But I think it is going to live up to the expectation.
In my defense, I mean, Mike Williams could always have a big day. That's his MO.
Mike Williams is like, 3
if you
catches
want to lock
for 8
in
yards,
points,
or
Jamal Williams is way more guaranteed to have a solid outing. Whereas Mike Williams, maybe he has a 30-point ceiling, but he's also could score 2 points because that's
my thing. It's I think you look at your lineup and you're like, if you're behind already in the sense of like grossly, I can't imagine.
If you started Sky Moore, you should probably start Mike Williams.
Yeah, there you go. And I still say it's not Sky Moore's fault. He was overthrown a ton in that game. Now, Kadarius Toney, it's his fault. I have never seen a game that bad by a wide receiver in the last 10 years. I can't fathom it. Did you know the scoring for him, the average expected fantasy points for him was -2 in that game?
He's not
I never heard of such a thing. -2 for Kadarius
good.
Toney. I never heard of a guy with expected total of minus points every time he touched a football because of the pick six. Good times. All right, let's go to the next one here. I think this one's easy. Maybe Erickson does not. Another one here. We have Sutton or Ayuk from Solar 24.
Ayuk,
I agree. Tony Fullman, we did that one. Joel, Waller or Dulcich in a tight end premium?
Waller.
Bro.
Waller.
Are we gonna do our first bro? Did we get?
Dude, I don't know why they're like. I don't know why people are still drafting Dulcich. He's a backup tight end on his team.
Here's what I don't get, man. Like we had a good start here this morning. It's week 1. I didn't expect to bro anybody this early. It's 25 minutes into the show, just about. So, bro.
I mean, if
Bro.
Waller's hamstring explodes, then he's gonna be
Look,
broing us.
I look, but here's the thing, man. I told everybody that you and Derek Brown were driving the Darren Waller bus. It was like the Madden bus around the country for the last 3 months. And I'm sitting here going, yeah, okay, as long as he's, and look, to your credit too, it was cheaper when it started. And then gas got real expensive for that bus. And then it became a luxury bus, and I don't want any part of it. I'm out. Ryan Barrington, likely or Chigakonkwo?
Likely.
Okay. Makre Urish. Brandon Ayuk or Jahan Dotson? I need upside because I lost Kelsey and played Gibbs full PPR.
Dotson. Do you have
I'm playing Dotson.
You feel really strong about Dotson over Ayuk?
I love Ayuk, but Dotson this week I love more. I'm already invested in Jahan Dotson, anytime touchdown scorer, plus 230. Look, I think they're both really good options. I'd like to get both of them in Makare. I'd like to get both of them in my lineup if I could. If you can find a way. I know that might be hard because it looks like you played Gibbs already, so I don't know if you played him in the flex spot. But if you can get both these guys in there, I would strongly consider it. And again, plus 230 for Dotson. I think the number is 42.5 for his receiving yards. And these are all things you could do over, again, bettingpros.com. This is the spot. And we've got an amazing contest. I want you to join it. bettingpros.com/NFL contest. It is free contest, free money to join. That's my playbook. We want NFL contest. That's what we're talking about here. So NFL contest, you click the community tab, okay, in the BP app. You go down and you scroll, you go join the NFL contest. And then you could also just go to bettingpros.com/NFL contest. And if you look here, there you go. Johnny found it. I know Johnny always find it. Jackson Smith and Jigba jersey here going to the winner. We're also going to away free swag every week from Fantasy Pros, from Betting Pros, 4 monthly prizes. We're giving away 5 overall prizes too, upgrades. So join this because the sooner you get in, the better chance you have to be the overall winner. All you got to do is pick 5 things every week. By the season's end, have a minimum of 100 picks. And then we're going to talk about you. If you're the big winner every week, we're going to mention you on the shows. It's going to be fun. Again, bettingpros.com/NFL contest. Or all you have to do is just go download the BP app. It's fantastic. The redesign is unbelievably good. Go to community tab, join NFL contest, come bet against us. It's fun. All right. Next here, Cody K, full PPR, 0.25 per rush. Flex Zay Flowers, Breece Hall, or Marvin Mims.
Zay Flowers.
Agreed. Frederick Warren, Anthony Richardson, or Russell Wilson as your second QB today.
Anthony Richardson.
Interesting. D Mooney or D Money, not Mooney. That would be several O's. It's just one. D Money 21. Full PPR. Addison, Flowers, Mims, or Mingo.
Flowers.
Yes, Zay Flowers. I've got all the Zay Flowers on all of my teams. Patrick, full PPR. Mims Jr. or JSN. Who do you have?
Mims.
Gino or Cousins. This is from Denny Doer.
Gino.
I like Cousins more. I think Cousins and the Vikings put a hurting on the Buccaneers. A hurting on them today. I'm very anti-Buccaneers this year. I mean, I hope if I'm wrong about this, then I'm going to have to do some soul searching, but I don't think I am. L-Dub11, Tua or Fields?
Fields.
Okay, yeah. I mean, look, I understand the Tua love, but you got to go with the Fields rushing equity. Jim O'Sullivan, which means you should trade Tua because every week you're going to want to start Fields. So this is the problem.
Shouldn't have drafted Tua in the first. If you have Fields, you shouldn't have drafted Tua.
Look for somebody to have a bad performance and go trade Tua off this huge game against the Chargers. That's what you do. You'll stream another quarterback for when Fields has a bye. Get rid of Tua. All right, Jim O'Sullivan, full PPR. Which 2 of these? Ayuk, Pickens, Gabe Davis, Nico Collins. Ayuk, yes. So who's the other one? I know Debro loves Pickens this week. You like Pickens?
I think he's okay. I mean, he's another boomer bust receiver. What was the other guy?
Gabe Davis or Nico Collins?
Yeah, I'd probably just go with Pickens in that case. I think Nico's a floor play, and I don't want to play Gabe Davis against the Jets. So
me neither. Dustin Houchins. Do you see Dustin back here? Full PPR, injured Waller or likely?
So it depends.
You want to wait it out?
So here's the scenario, and I want everyone that's tight end questions to listen.
Everyone get by the fire. Come on.
Gather around.
Uncle Andrew's going to tell us a story. Okay, go ahead.
Crisscross applesauce, everybody. Crisscross applesauce. Look, if you have Waller on your team, and you have to cut someone else to add another tight end, I would not do that. I would not try to roster 2 tight ends for a 1-week rental with Isaiah Likely because I don't think it's worth it, especially if you have valuable spots on your bench. Now, if you already have 2 tight ends, like if you already have Waller and Likely on your roster, then that's fine. If you want to play it safe, start Likely. Like, totally get that. But don't make the extra transaction to then add another tight end to then start Likely, and then you have to cut a running back that you potentially might want to have on your bench or another player. Like, I'm not doing that. So
would
that's the only scenario
you then cut Likely for Bellinger if Waller didn't play? If you rolled the dice and you were wrong?
If I already had them both, I would just start Likely. But I'm not because I don't.
So you're not waiting to find out.
No.
Tonight. Okay, that's fair. Josh Young, full PPR, start 2. James Cook, James Conner, Antonio Gibson, Zay Flowers. You got 2.
Conner and Flowers.
Conner and Flowers. All right. Chris Hansen, Higbee or Kittle?
Higbee.
Okay. Bradley Shotchin, Brandon Cooks or Terry McLaurin?
Cooks.
Okay. We've got John Clark, T. Higgins or Ridley in the full PPR?
Higgins.
Ridley. Let's go. Ridley. Money 3 Mason, PPR Rashad White or Stevenson? Stevenson. Trinidad Carrillo, Hall or Javonte? All the ACLs. Full PPR. Who do you want? Javonte. Dirt Diggler. Great name. Fantastic. Standard flex spot. J.K. Dobbins, Godwin, DJ Moore, Dotson, and Jigba. You're going to laugh, but I think Dotson has the most touchdown equity of all those guys today.
I think it's Dobbins.
Dobbins. I understand that. Dobbins is definitely the safe play in the standard. I get it. Joe 96, Khalil Herbert or Jamal Williams?
Jamal Williams.
Bishop favorites. Sit 1, Connor, Najee, Mike Williams. In a standard league, who are you sitting? I'm sitting
Najee.
I can't sit him. I can't sit him over Connor.
Against the 49ers. Against the 49ers. Najee.
Look, I know. But can we also discuss how just because Nick Bosa signed doesn't mean Nick Bosa is also going to be out there every snap? Like, let's not pretend like that's going to happen today because it's not. Okay? He hasn't been in training camp. He's not going to go out there. He's going to be on pitch count. You're lucky if he plays 50% of the snaps in this game.
Well, doesn't that mean he's just going to probably be out there in pass situations? So that doesn't even affect Najee anyway.
Not that it doesn't, but his presence on the field affects every play.
I guess.
Because I'm
just worried about what's his face, Hargrave, the guy they signed that was basically the best defensive tackle in the NFL last year.
Hargrave, yeah. Okay.
So that's my issue with Najee. So
all right, next here, this is Josh Wynn, half PPR, Kirk or Flowers or Jaden Reed.
Oh man, what's the format?
This is tough. Half PPR. I like all these guys.
I think I'm just take Kirk. I like his touchdown upside the most.
Flowers or P Ryan? I'm going Flowers here for Michael Reeb.
Yeah, don't start P Ryan. I really, again, I talked about this a little bit earlier, but I'm very concerned about like what his role is going to be.
You went mosaic for a second there. That was kind of cool. You look like
it's foreshadowing Samaje P Ryan's role when he just gets a bunch of pass blocking snaps.
The dark void of Samaje P Ryan's fantasy value right there. It was like a backdrop from the Rainforest Cafe for a moment there. Which is your by the way,
next year. Book it next year.
Andrew Erickson's favorite place to eat, Rainforest Cafe.
Next year before
I can't
Flex
wait.
is happening.
Can we do a live stream for the Rainforest Cafe with like a parrot and you and me? I'd like to do that. Can we do that?
Book it next year before Flex.
Daniel Martinez, Schultz or Okonkwo? Full PPR. Mike Gendron, full PPR. Damian Pierce or Jahan Dotson?
Dotson.
The Dadder 26 Gaming, is D-Hop worth starting? Yeah, I think he's worth starting.
Yeah.
Depends on who over, but in a vacuum, yes.
Wide receiver 2. I think that he's solid.
He's a low end 2 for me. Esteban Vasquez, PPR, Cortland Sutton or Antonio Gibson?
Sutton.
King Dennis. I didn't realize Dennis was king. Non-PPR, need 1 running back. Monty.
Monty already played.
He played Monty. Now, Javonte Williams, Rashad White, Brian Robinson.
You said, and so it's standard? I'd say Brian Robinson.
Standard. I knew you. Yeah, I figured that's the route you were going. Let's go to Cathedra, full PPR. Would you start Akers or Dotson?
Dotson.
Agreed. JSNYD84. Trade value for Zay Flowers. Why do you want to trade Zay Flowers? I don't know why do you want to do this.
It's just going to go up probably after this week, so you want to hold.
Like if Zay Flowers
you could buy right now.
is if Flores does nothing today, the narrative becomes, well, it's his first game. He's a rookie, blah, 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 blah. They didn't need to do anything, right? Because they were kicking the crap out of the Texans.
Yeah,
So his
exactly.
trade value is
That's
not going to
worst case
change.
scenario.
That is the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is next week you could trade him for Cooper Kupp. Like if you wanted to, like that's what we're going to. So, no, don't trade him. But if you are looking for trades, might I suggest the Trade Analyzer and Trade Finder over at My Playbook. Download myplaybook.com. Look how fast John was on that. I was testing you, John. You passed. Good job. All right, My Playbook. Again, download the app or just go to fantasypros.com/myplaybook. It's got amazing tools in it. The lineup assistant, the waiver assistant, the trade analyzer, the trade finder. So get all these tools, manage all your teams. Did you know that My Playbook, if you've got 3 leagues at ESPN and 2 at CBS and another one somewhere else on Sleeper, that you can set all your lineups from one place? Isn't that beautiful? That's My Playbook. Go get it just for that feature. Just for that. It's free. Go download it. All right, let's keep going here. Let's go to All Niner. Half PPR, Breece Hall or DeAndre Hopkins?
Hopkins.
Ryan Monahan, Warren or Charbonnet? Jalen Warren or Charbonnet? I like Jalen Warren today, I'm just going to say.
Yeah, I have no idea what Charbonnet's role is going to be, so I would go with Warren.
Let's go to Alex Betancourt, half PPR, Dameon Pierce or Antonio Gibson?
Gibson.
Okay, I wanted to duck because you told everybody not to.
It's gonna be. Last year he had games where he rushed for like 10 yards. Like that's what this game is gonna be. Dameon Pierce like rush for 10 yards. Sick.
God, I hope he has 87 so I can see you Monday morning and laugh. Jackson Reese, Drake London or Deontay Johnson? DJ, right?
Yeah.
You gotta still play DJ. All right. GG Farewell, Marquise Brown or Mingo with all the Carolina injuries?
So
Brown's not healthy either, FYI.
I would go with Marquise Brown. Like I understand the appeal with Mingo. It's like, oh, he's like the number 1 wide receiver, but again, he's a rookie. His quarterback's a rookie. It's just a bad combination of different things. So Marquise Brown, yes, Josh Dobbs is not a good quarterback, but he's not a rookie. And I think that matters. I think that means he's going to be able to get the ball at least to Marquise Brown more often and more frequently than Bryce Young is able to get the ball to Jonathan Mingo. So I would go with Marquise Brown.
There you go. All right, let's keep going here. And remember, if you're watching the stream, subscribe to our YouTube channel, like the stream, because, it's a nice thing to do. It's very easy. Just kind of click like, so go ahead, like the stream. Let's go like. Okay, good. And then if you do all those things and you subscribe and you drop a comment below and you click the little bell till it goes ding, you could win an autographed A.J. Brown jersey. This is a good one. Now, in all fairness, there's some jerseys sometimes where you roll your eyes and you go, man, this one you want. You want this one. This is a big deal. Get this jersey. I want you to have this jersey, so get it. Drop a comment. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We've got all the podcasts on here, the short form videos, the live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays. It's going to be a great time. And every Sunday, we're going to be here setting all your lineups. So subscribe, click the bell, win the jersey. Boom, just like that. Let's get to another one here. Let's go to Mike D. Pierce or Mostert, half PPR. Go ahead, say it.
Mostert.
Ethan Riley, Zay Jones, or Brandon Cooks?
Cooks.
Agreed. Jordan Carpenter, Christian Kirk, or James Cook in the flex?
Kirk.
Football lover, PPR, 2 out of this group. DJ Moore, Drake London, Brandon Ayuk, Raheem Mostert, or Jahan Dotson?
DJ Moore and Jahan Dotson.
Agreed. Daniel C, full PPR, DeAndre Hopkins or Javonte Williams in the flex?
Hopkins.
Agreed. Zach Jones, JK. I'm still optimistic about Javonte, but Andrew's right. You got to play Hopkins out of the gate here and see what you have. Zach Jones, J.K. Dobbins, DJ Moore, Dameon Pierce, start 2.
Not Dameon Pierce.
Not Dameon Pierce. So Dobbins and Moore. Brian Harris, Pittman Jr. Just look, guys, just stop asking Dameon Pierce questions because I don't think Andrew's ever going to care. He's just not going to care.
I'm not going to cave.
Sticking by the guns. I love it. All right, let's go to Brian Harris. Pittman Jr., Sutton, or Mostert? I think Mostert, right?
What's the format? Full PPR?
No format in a vacuum.
All right, yeah, Mostert's fine.
Dante Trombetta, Dobbins or Madison?
Dobbins.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a little worried about
Madison's not good.
Yes, but the Buccaneers are not good either.
Their run defense. Why do you think their defense
run defense
is
not as good?
Their defense was good last year. And
towards the end, it was less good. And here's my point about the Buccaneers. I think they're going to be put in some bad spots in this game. And I think, how these defenses are not up to speed yet. They don't have the stamina yet. We see this every single week one, especially now with the new preseason games, right? Because they're not playing as much in the preseason because there's one less game and they're not playing that full game like they used to. I think they're going to be put in some bad spots. I think it'll be on the field too much. I think somewhere around the middle of the third quarter, you're going to start to see that, and it's going to get real ugly real fast. Okay, let's get to some other ones here. Let's go to Mark. PPR flex spot, Hollywood, Pickens, or Gibson?
Pickens.
Pickens. Okay. Anthony, Majer. How's your Majer? Your Majer's good. Bateman or Sutton?
Sutton.
Okay. Question for you. I want to take a quick break from these questions because I think this is a big question that's going out there. So Travis Kelce situation, since we're talking about all these tight ends, I've been saying if there's a tight end that you like right now on the waiver wire, like this is kind of between Waller's injury, Andrews being out, Kelce being out. This is the time this morning to pick up Musgrave. This is the time to pick up Likely. This is the time to like pick up these guys if you have the ability. Even Ferguson, I think, is interesting, despite Andrews' negativity. This is the time to pick them up before waivers run. Do you agree? Like, let's get some tight end insurance before we have to pay for it on Wednesday. How do you feel about that?
I think that's smart. I mean, the way that things are trending, it's like these top tier tight ends. Again, tight end, when I was reviewing my busts article for this upcoming season, the thing that stood out to me was just drafting tight ends overall earlier increases your chances of drafting busts. It just does in general. Like tight ends just get hurt. I mean, we talk about how running backs get hurt, tight ends get hurt too. Like they get hurt more than receivers do. So that's something you have to keep in mind. And if these guys are already dealing with injuries to start the year, like this could potentially be problematic, even if they survive week one. Like we're talking about, they survived week one. Like that's good. It's like, okay, well, there's 17 weeks of the season. like this is a long haul. So I do think that makes a lot of sense to look at some of these guys, potentially stashing them before they break out, like a Musgrave, especially on the upside things. Don't necessarily stash the player that you think has kind of like replaceable.
Right. This is not Daniel Bellinger stash.
Yeah.
That's desperation. We're talking about Musgrave. We're talking about Likely. We're talking about Ferguson because you might not need them. But if you have that bench spot that's just like whatever, there's a team next week that's going to. It's trade value potentially there where you can sell them off high. It's maneuverability if you need them. Like there's a lot. Like I said, be active this morning on the waiver wire when it comes to tight ends. I think it's going to be very beneficial to you by the time we get to week 2 because to Andrew's point, we could have more tight end injuries. Let's not forget George Kittle's not 100%, right? He's playing today. And these tight ends take so much contact because they play on the line and they're getting tackled. So it's a lot of contact you're taking. All right, let's get back to your question. Good talk. And I like the real talk, Andrew, where you and I sit and have real talk on Sunday mornings. This is good. All right, let's go to James Scully. Good morning, pros. With Waller's injury, should I start Likely or risk playing him tonight? We kind of touched on this already, James, but just to touch on it again, Andrew and I say play the guy that you know is playing. Like, because otherwise it becomes Bellinger. And I know that's a crappy thing. I know you want to play Waller. I know Waller could play and be good, but I think, Andrew, that's where we're at, right?
Yeah, and it's trending like he's going to play. So, and if he's playing, you're going to start him. So, yeah. I mean, but if you want the long-term appeal and you can pick up Likely and it's not, putting your roster in a bad position. If again, when inactives come out at 11:30 Eastern, there's a chance that you have someone that you can then move to your IR spot. Oh, now you have an open spot on your roster. You can pick somebody else up and just give you that option. Again, Jake Ferguson also plays. So you don't have to play Bellinger potentially. You can play Ferguson. He plays on the other
Ferguson's
side.
Out there. Yeah, Ferguson is the pivot to me that I think if you really want to roll the dice with Waller, Ferguson's the pivot. But I would grab him now because I'm telling you, there's other people looking for tight ends right now on the waiver wire. So just don't wait. Do it now. Don't wait for and then you could just, if Waller plays, you drop him. It's fine. Someone in Naples, half PPR, Rashad Bateman or Marquise Brown? I think I play Bateman.
I'm playing Brown.
You're playing Brown? Brown's health scares me too. I think Arizona's going to be so embarrassing. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but that's where I'm at. Lundy Hamilton, Michael Thomas or DeAndre Hopkins?
Hopkins.
Okay. GZB, full PPR, Juju or Hollywood Brown?
I play Juju.
Okay. Beast mode, Ayuk or Mike Evans in a PPR? Ayuk.
Yeah.
Brady, Dobbins or Madison in a full point PPR?
Dobbins.
Tony Klingers, Irv Smith Jr., top five tight end this year? No.
I mean,
no.
We haven't heard a peep about Irv Smith Jr. Like, so I don't know. Like he could go out and catch 3 touchdowns or do nothing. So
I know. No. Look, even if he catches 3 touchdowns, CJ Huzman-Zada did that a couple times. He was never a tight end 5 overall in the season. No. This week? No. Not this year, not this week, not this century. No, not happening. John Weddig, Geno Smith, or Daniel Jones? Geno. T. Squire, Deontay Johnson, or J.K. Dobbins, full point PPR?
Dobbins.
Thomas Dunn, 1 point PPR, London or Dotson? J. Broad, 24, full point PPR, Raheem Mostert or Jahan Dotson?
Dotson.
Anthony Santoro, Brian Robinson, or Najee Harris?
Oh, God.
Yeah, I love it. Go ahead.
My rankings say Najee, but my heart says Brian Robinson. I guess it's Najee, whatever.
Your rankings, then maybe you should go with your heart instead of your head. I don't know.
I mean, my rankings aren't always great, so.
Finally, some honesty.
Look, I'll say it. So I hated drafting Brian Robinson, but if I had him and if I drafted him, this is where you want to play him. Like, there's not, again, we talked about this on one of the shows where the Commanders are never going to be 7-point favorites ever again.
Nope.
Like, so if you can't start Brian Robinson this week, you should just drop him from your team.
Yeah, and I understand, like, the Najee matchup is tough. I would still start Najee, but I understand why if you're trying to, like, if you don't love your matchups this week, you're just trying to maximize everything, then I get the Robinson start. I'd still go with Najee because, like, Najee's a guy you drafted in the first 3 picks. Like, you got to play those guys for better or worse because Najee's still going to get enough volume. And I think he could fall in the end zone. We know Brian Robinson can fall in the end zone too. But you're right. Robinson has the better script here, but I'm going to start Najee and just kind of stay the course for better or worse. Jose Shamu, Schultz, or Likely?
Likely.
Should I drop Likely for Musgrave?
No.
Okay. Antonio Garcia, James Cook, or Dameon Pierce?
Cook.
J. Broad, 24, Raheem Mostert, or Jahan Dotson? I think we did that one, right? Let's go to Robbie Thomas. Robbie Thomas, 18, half-point PPR. Watson out with this. So do you want to go to Terry McLaurin, Herbert, Addison? Those are your options.
Herbert.
I think he's the safest. I agree. McLaurin scares me with his health. Exterminator. Buongiorno, Paisan. Buongiorno, Exterminator. Great to see you back. Half PPR flex. Connor or Slayer Allen? Who's Slayer Allen?
I have no idea.
I don't know what that is.
Keenan Allen?
I mean, if it's Keenan Allen, I'm playing Keenan Allen. Like, I don't know who that is.
Buck Allen? Is he back?
I don't know. Could be Debbie Allen for all I know. Ray Manzek rocks. Pierce or Pirine? We've hit rock bottom on the show.
Pierce.
This is it. Pierce. Everybody, this is the clip for social media. This is the most important question anyone's going to ask the entire day. Pierce or Pirine? Ray, you broke it. You broke Andrew Erickson. Look at him. You broke him.
Yeah, it's Pierce for me here.
Finally found somebody. There you go. Double M, thoughts on Kenneth Walker and Dobbins this year and the week?
I mean, they're both set up really well this week. I think Dobbins might be healthier, which is the only reason I'd probably give him the slight lean, but both guys should see good game scripts. Both guys are explosive running backs. I mean, I think that as long as they're both healthy, then they should be productive.
Now, just a reminder, Andrew and Erickson and I are going to, be off of the live stream on 11, but the live stream will continue here on YouTube. So you have more questions. If you're just waking up and you're just seeing this and we don't get to you, don't worry. Don't fret. Everything's going to be fine. We have more people coming here to answer your questions coming up after this. So stick with us. Stay on the YouTube channel. We'll continue to help you all the way up in the next hour here too. There will be that quick intermission in between. So don't panic about that. I know people panic when something's different. They're worried about it. Don't worry. It's fine. We're going to go from one show to the other. Quick transition. Don't worry. Stick with FP every single Sunday to get all your questions done. All right, Aaron Cantu. No, Andrew. Just Aaron Cantu. Andrew's his younger brother who owes him money. Full PPR. London, Mike Williams, Dotson, Sutton, Connor, Mostert. Need 2.
Dotson and what was the other?
Mostert.
A lot of names. Mostert.
It was.
That's kind of what I was leaning towards.
I mean, if you want to swing for the fences, it's Williams and Dotson just are fun. But Dotson and Mostert's probably the more responsible choices.
Yeah.
There's a fun name. Pool Alter. I don't know what that's all about. Watson out. JSN, Mingo, or Elijah Moore. I'm playing Elijah Moore.
Yeah, that's what I would do. Elijah Moore.
Not close. Let's go. More questions. Excellent. More. John P. Coburn, Elijah Moore, or Pickens. I'm playing Moore. Who are you playing?
Moore.
C. Joe, full PPR, Likely or Juwan Johnson?
I like Likely.
Okay. All right. This is from DeLeon Lindsay. Should Najee sit? Antonio Gibson or Michael Thomas are the other options.
Not over those guys. No.
I agree. I think that's irresponsible. Michael Thomas might score a touchdown, but I think it's irresponsible to make that decision. Tyson Koenig, McLaurin, or Ayuk? I'm going Ayuk. How about you, Erickson?
Ayuk.
Zenith of Power, half PPR, Ayuk or London?
Ayuk.
Ayuk. And another one here from Patrick. D-Hop, DJ Moore, Jahan Dotson, pick 2.
Probably Moore and Dotson for me.
Okay. Moore and Dotson for you as we continue to look through here. Some of the interesting pieces just to get everybody updated. Devontae Parker is not expected to play week 1.
Wow.
There you go. So
consider me shocked.
Money well spent, wow. Andrew. Money well spent. That Devontae Parker.
Sean Booty. Let's go.
Yes, all the Keyshawn booty. All the booty. Andrew Erickson loves the booty. In fact, can we get a shirt that says Erickson loves booty? That's the shirt I want in the pro shop. John, Boutte, I believe Keyshawn's name is spelled. Erickson loves booty. That's the first one, week 1 shirt. I want that shirt. I want to wear it. I know everybody in this. Can we get I want to love that poll in the stream. Would you buy the Erickson loves booty t-shirt? If you would, yes or no, let's get that one in the chat because I want to see that. I'd buy it. I mean, they'll probably give it to me for free, but I'd buy it because it's a good shirt. All right. Zenith of Power. We did your question. Let's get to Patrick. Full point PPR, DeAndre Hopkins, Moore, Jahan Dotson.
Dotson.
Okay. My Tyler, J57, flex likely, JSN, Deion Jackson, Algier, non-PPR. This is gross. JSN, I'm just going to hope for that. What are you going to do?
I'm going Deion Jackson. Zach Moss isn't going to play, and I think that they're going to be efficient with running the football with Richardson.
I see the Welsh is in the green room right now. I don't know if he can hear us or not, but the Welsh, if Erickson had we're talking about Keyshawn Booty. If there was a shirt that said Erickson loves booty, you'd buy that shirt, right, Welsh? Thumbs up. Big thumbs up here from Welsh in the green room. Just saying, Welsh and Tara, by the way, are going to take you through the next hour, so make sure you hang out with them. Again, there will be a little tiny brief intermission, and then they're going to pick up all your questions. We're going to keep going through there. Let's go to Corey's question. Full PPR, Kirk or Dotson? Who do you have, Erickson?
Dotson.
Dotson it is. German Nava, London or James Cook?
James Cook.
Victor Reyes. Oh, good to see Victor back. Hello, Victor. How was your summer? OBJ or Elijah Moore?
Elijah Moore.
Let's go. Let's go to Lawson Banks 22. Higbee or Waller? I actually like Higbee this week in this scenario. I like Higbee.
If you have them both on your roster,
Higbee's a good option.
I think Higbee's fine.
He's another guy that's floating around the waiver wire people should be adding. Add these tight ends.
Picked him up like an hour ago, and I was starting Everett. I saw Higbee available. I was like, sick.
Add tight ends. Add tight ends for yourself. Add tight ends for other people. Add all those things. That's what we're going to do. Also, don't forget to make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, because when you do, when you drop a comment below, you could win the A.J. Brown autographed jersey. Look at it. It's glorious. Number 11 could be yours. Fantastic stuff there. Again, what do you have to do? Drop a question, subscribe to the channel, click the bell till it goes ding. Easy peasy, baby. That's what you do. And look, to help you manage all your lineups all year long, use my playbook. It's free. Download it. Sync all your leagues. You can set all your lineups from all your different leagues on all the different platforms in one space. Unbelievable. And that's just the beginning of the tools here. The waiver assistant, the trade analyzer, the lineup assistant, all available for you. Download it and win. See that? Download and win. That's what we're trying to do. That's it. Just win, baby. Al Davis time. And also don't forget, if you're into the betting world or you even want to just dip your toes in it and make some picks and have some fun, our NFL contest is going on in Betting Pros. So download the Betting Pros app, download the BP app, use the prop bet cheat sheet, use the tools here to get ready, make some money. But on the flip side, if you join the NFL contest, click the community tab, join NFL contest, go to bettingpros.com/NFL contest. We're giving away a JSN autographed jersey. We're giving away Fantasy Pro swag, Betting Pro swag, upgrades to premium, all this stuff just for making picks. 5 picks a week. That's all you got to do. Come join, pick against me. We're going to have some fun. It's going to be a great time. All that stuff. Speaking of great times, Chris Welsh, the Welsh, and Tara Roberts are going to be joining us here at the 11 Eastern hour to take you through the next hour. But before that, let's get another question in. Lundy Hamilton, Herbert or Sanders this week?
Herbert.
There you go. All right, Erickson, a couple other things here. Marquise Brown is expected to play. We also, by the way, this was fun. This broke about an hour ago. Jonathan Taylor, with his ankle, is going to pass his physical and could pass it today. Erickson, do you care?
I drafted him in the 7th round in one league, so I care there.
7th round, you care there.
Care there, yeah.
Now, the other place too that you can get a hold of us, just so you know, is our AMA channels over on Discord. So if you go to fantasypros.com/chat, let's say you're not available to watch the live streams, this is another avenue too where you can ask direct questions. It's an amazing community. Again, also free. Download Discord, go to Fantasy Pros or fantasypros.com/chat. Again, premium subscription people get access to a lot more, but Discord's a great thing. We're going to have all those AMAs going. You can ask us questions all week long. Sundays is a great time to get a hold of people as well. It's a really cool community of people too. Rabid football fans, rabid fantasy fans. It's week 1, crazy things going on. Let's continue on with some of the news going on as well. Jerry Jeudy is out, not expected to play against the Raiders. I'm going to have a question for you here, Erickson. Who leads the Denver Broncos in receiving yards in week 1?
Marvin Mims.
There you go. On brand. Always staying on brand. Love that. Romeo Doubs is expected to play week 1. Who has more receiving yards, Romeo Doubs or Jaden Reed?
Jaden Reed, because they're saying that Doubs may be on a pitch count. So that's something to keep in mind. I would not start him really. And I have Reed ranked higher. And I like Reed like Musgrave more.
George Kittle is going to play. He's expected to play. Do you have any concerns about his limitations with that groin injury?
I mean, all these tight ends are banged up. And if Kittle's out there, I think that you got to start him because he has really high upside, but he also has really low floor. But when it's tight end, it's like if he has a touchdown, he rips off a long run, it's worth starting him. So, yeah, I think that if you have him, you got to play him.
Okay. And also the Jet situation. Let's say you have one spot open. Dalvin Cook, Breece Hall, both on your team. Why are you starting?
Dalvin Cook.
Why? Tell the people.
Because he's the starting running back week 1. Like, I don't think it's that hard to, like, why did they bring him in? He wasn't going to start week 1. Makes too much sense.
Who do you want rest of season? Dalvin Cook or Breece Hall?
Breece Hall. But
so would you be, if Dalvin Cook has a smash game here week 1, are you all up in the Kool-Aid for Breece Hall trades?
100%. Breece Hall is going to be a buy low every single week.
Do you have a favorite Kool-Aid flavor, by the way, too? Also a fun question to ask.
Whatever the blue one is.
The blue. Well, blue is not a flavor.
Okay, but it's like blue. It's like blue Raz or like
blue
something
Raz.
Like that. Yeah.
It wasn't Blue Raz. That was your high school nickname. They called you Blue Raz, I want to say. Like,
nah.
Oh, look, there's Blue Raz. He's pulling up in his 1997 Ford Camino or whatever. I don't know what he's got there. Blue is not a flavor, though. I don't like the blue flavors of anything.
What?
No,
good.
I don't trust blue as a flavor.
Blue is my favorite color, so that's disrespect.
Yes, but there's not a lot of. I mean, so there's blueberries. Outside of blueberries, how many blue foods you eat?
I mean, are blueberries really even that blue?
They're they're blue enough to be called blueberries. Damn it! I mean, I'm just saying.
I don't know. I've never really thought about blue.
You never thought about like a blue is not really a natural food color until just now. Like blue corn chips, like that's acceptable.
Those are like purple though, aren't they? They're more purple.
God, you're really, Erickson. By the
water's kind of blue, kind of.
Thank goodness Welsh and Tara are taking over for the next hour. That's all I can say. They're all lined up and ready to go. Again, everybody, don't forget, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Stay with us here. John, we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut this one off so everybody else can start on time. So stick with us. Get your questions ready. Stay on the channel. It's week 1. Have fun. Set your lineups. That'll do it for myself and Andrew Erickson. Coming up next, Welsh and Tara for the next hour, taking your questions right here on Fantasy Pros. Have a great week 1, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into week 1 fantasy football advice right here on Fantasy Pros. I am Chris Welsh. You can find me on Twitter at IsItTheWelsh. That is Tara Roberts. It's Tara time. That's right. That's where you can find her Twitter, X, whatever you guys do. Welcome in. It is here. It is early for me. I'm on the West Coast. Tara, you're on the mid coast, so it's a little bit later. You got a little bit going on. We're going to be answering all of your questions, everything getting you prepped for week 1, and we are very, very excited to do so. And we want to remind you guys have an opportunity to win some stuff because stuff is sweet. How about an AJ Brown autographed jersey? Yeah, that's right. We got to give away your chance to do it. Philadelphia Eagles jersey, courtesy of bettingpros.com. Your chance to start betting smarter and not harder over at bettingpros.com. All you got to do is subscribe to the Fantasy Pros YouTube channel right now. Comment below. We're going to be answering your questions anyways. And that is it. We'll be announcing a winner right here on the channel. So make sure to turn on those notifications so you can be alerted with new episodes when new episodes are up and you can claim your prizes. Tara, good morning. How are you? It is week 1. How excited are you?
Excited, terrified, all that good stuff.
You got to get the lineups in. I was like manically panicking last night, by the way. It was just like, yeah. I've got all these. I'm over on Yahoo, and I've got Fantrax, and I've got Sleeper, and I had to do the YouTube thing last night, and I was actually almost afraid I was going to subscribe to the NFL package on YouTube on Fantasy Pros' channel because I've got so many different access to YouTube channels. I, of course, did it to the wrong one that I wanted, but I got my YouTube set up today, which is a whole thing. So I feel like I am raring to go. And Tara, I know you are as well. If everybody was locked in a little bit earlier, they got to listen to Erickson and Pisapia, kind of get them all set, get them rocking here, going through the latest news. We'll be talking about it as things break, as things go. So let's get to answering some questions. By the way, does everybody like, I'm donning the absolutely new Fantasy Pros hat, which is in the store, just came in here. Just no big deal. Just modeling here. Okay, so make sure everybody likes it. You can check it out over at the Fantasy Pros store. I am very much liking it. Let's get into some questions. Let's get you guys set. Chef Boyor Richie with the first question of the day. Congratulations. Standard flex, Jahan Dotson or Antonio Gibson? What a great question. Tara, what do you think?
Oh, so I've seen this a lot. We got a lot of Dotson and Gibson questions. People are, I get it. It's a good flex option for both of them and potential for a strong week, good matchup for Washington. You could either see them light it up early or, keep steady on the ground. Because it's a standard league, I lean towards Gibson. This could be a strong game for both him and Brian Robinson. It's super close though.
Ooh, I'm not going to be much help here because I agree with a lot of what you said. I think this is actually a really tough game. I just also think Jahan Dotson is going to be a magnet to the end zone. The backfield, and I will agree with you, like in standard formats, especially ones where I think an offense is going to dominate. Cardinals, worst team in the NFL, trash. I live here in Arizona, so I'm allowed to talk like extra aggressive about them. Absolute garbage. It's embarrassing what they're doing. And Brian Robinson, though, is the guy I think that is going to be formidable on the ground. I think Antonio Gibson will obviously play a role, but I think Jahan Dotson is going to be the target for the secondary and for the wide receivers. And I'm locked into Jahan Dotson on every front. We've actually got stuff over. You can follow me over on Betting Pros, and you'll see one of my props today was the Jahan Dotson receiving yards. I kind of also like the anytime touchdown just because I think he is going to be a magnet. So I'm going to go with Jahan Dotson. Tara's got Antonio Gibson, so, flip a coin there on what side you want to do, Chef Boy or Richie. All right, Daniel. Daniel says, here's another one, Antonio Gibson or Swift. And I think he says he currently has Swift on the bench, so he's leaning Gibson. I'm actually going to go with you, even though I'm a little bit of a Swiftie in this regard. Antonio Gibson in the matchup is where I'm going to go, Tara. But does this move you at all? Does this move you off of Gibson with Swift?
Nope, I'm still there. I too was once a Swiftie, a reformed Swiftie now after the trauma from 2022. Again, I just want to see exactly how this Eagles backfield shakes out. We've got we've got Swift, we've got Gainwell, we've got Penny, all healthy, all looking to see exactly what's going to happen here and how they're going to work in. So yeah, I just go ahead and stick with Gibson on this one.
All right. Well, karma is your starter, my friend. So do that. All right. D. Graham, Addison Reed or Elijah Moore, full PPR. I would definitely suggest everybody put in the full name so we can understand. I'm going to assume you do mean Jaden Reed here because we got the news that Christian Watson's out. So I'm going to assume this is Jordan Addison, Jaden Reed, or Elijah Moore with full PPR. So Tara, I actually think that's a pretty tough one. Going through the ranks, which you guys can check. You guys want to get prepped over at Fantasy Pros. And I will actually put these up. I'll give you where these guys are. We're looking at the week 1 ranks over on Fantasy Pros. Submitting the ranks this morning. I've submitted, publish. I've hit publish a bunch of times. This one is tough because of how aggressive I feel like I want to get on Jaden Reed. Erickson talked about it just before they got off. So I don't know. What say you? Addison, probably the most talented. Elijah Moore might be the sneakiest. And Jaden Reed might be the most popular from a DFS standpoint. So where would you go?
Yeah, I lean towards Elijah Moore. Again, with what we saw from him in preseason, I truly believe that we will see him work in from the backfield and be Debo light, light, because I know, some people were saying, size-wise, there's a big difference there. So he's Debo extra light in terms of size. But Jaden Reed is just an interesting one because, when we look at that Packers game, they could just aggressively attack on the ground. And this could be a very heavy Aaron Jones, AJ Dillon type of game. And Jordan Addison is a fantastic option as well. But, you got to consider he might be the third option in that offense right now. So I feel like Elijah Moore is the really interesting one who could kind of, have a strong impact in this first week out for Deshaun Watson.
So over on Fantasy Pros week 1 ranks, this is half PPR. I probably should have done the full, but Addison is 38. Elijah Moore is 44. And obviously, I don't think things are fully caught up, but Jaden Reed is on the move up to 57 here. The thing I actually kind of like about Jaden Reed and what you're talking about is I think this game is going to be hyper competitive and wouldn't be surprised to see the Bears up in it, which is going to make the Packers play on their heels a little bit. Also, why I like Aaron Jones here. I think when I look at this, I think this is a roster construction thing. I think Elijah Moore is the safety net, even though Jaden, they're all kind of number 2s here. I think he is the safety net. I think the upside is probably playing Jordan Addison. I couldn't justify Reed over either one of those guys. So I think that's kind of my key point here.
Yeah.
Let's go to Harlan. Half PPR, Breece Hall or Dalvin Cook. I think we got a report out this morning that we were going to see some bulk carries for Dalvin Cook early on. So could you justify benching Breece for Dalvin?
I am. Yeah. Unless you are, especially in this direct comparison, Breece Hall and Dalvin Cook, it's an easy one for me with Dalvin Cook. We have to assume that Breece Hall is going to get eased in. He'll be active. We'll get to see him and, worked in and whatnot. But I think that Dalvin's going to carry the workload. And again, this is going to be a tough matchup. There will be volume on the ground. They're probably not going to be playing aggressively from behind and need to have, maybe Breece Hall in there from a pass catching perspective. So I lean towards Dalvin Cook for sure on this one. I just want to temper our expectations on Breece Hall.
Yeah, like the heavy injured guys, I know they told us like with Javonte Williams that Javonte Williams was going to be good and get a heavy workload. To me, that feels like a lie. That feels very similar to like, we're going to use Jahmyr Gibbs in ways that you guys have never heard or been ready for. And it's like, oh, so you mean underutilize him? So I feel like that's where like Javonte Williams with the injury, that's where Breece Hall would be. So if I have the choice to avoid those guys, I think I would. So that's where I sit with that. Lineup decisions are very difficult. I told you I've got all of these different leagues. Well, with My Playbook, you can manage your fantasy football lineups and dominate your leagues with My Playbook from Fantasy Pros. My Playbook is a suite of powerful tools to help you make better decisions, manage your lineups, and win your leagues. You actually want to know a funny one? I actually got an email from Fantasy Pros because I have all of my leagues synced, and they told me, they're like, hey, we don't like what you're doing. And they said, our product, we suggest you do this. And it's a battle between Dak and Tua Tagovailoa today. So you can get those awesome updates and more. This product, My Playbook, created by Fantasy Pros, the #1 fantasy sports advice and tools provider in the world. The app is going to let you import your teams like I did, get custom fantasy football news, rankings, and analysis. That analysis is what I got. So sync your leagues today at fantasypros.com/myplaybook or download directly to your Apple or Android device. I don't even remember seeing that before. I thought that was cool that they sent me this email and they're like, we've looked at your rosters and you are being a huge stupid idiot and you need to make this change. And I was like, all right, well, I'm open to being a big stupid idiot. So I took a second look and I did stick with Tua because I think that's going to be a big matchup here, and I understand the Dak stuff, but I appreciate.
Did you tell
them
to look specifically at the Chris Welsh ranks and see how it lined up there?
They have to. Yeah. My favorite thing actually in the offseason was getting the people that would send me the screenshots of me loving or hating their team. It is maybe one of my biggest joys in the draft season for sure. All right. Let's see. Where did we leave off here? We are going back to, let's go to JB. PPR league, Dalton Schultz or Luke Musgrave. League has a shallow bench and I can't drop anyone else, so I have to roster and play one of them. So Schultz or Musgrave, Tara?
It's Schultz. It's a nice, safe pick, in my opinion. He could easily be the guy that gets the most targets in that offense. It might not be highly productive, might not be a ton of yardage, but we know what he brings to the table, and we know that obviously this Houston receiving core is a little bit lacking, unfortunately, and he can play a big role. I like Luke Musgrave, so I want to shoot for the upside and what he could be in this offense without Christian Watson playing, but I would still go with the safer option of Dalton Schultz.
I think this is I'm going to be a little bit cheap here in saying that I think there's a ceiling and a floor play. Schultz seems like a floor play, probably going to be safe on a weekly basis to be targeted 5 or 6 times. But with Watson out, I think Musgrave boosts up even more in this offense. I really like Luke Musgrave this week. Looking over on the FantasyPros ranks, half PPR, they've got Schultz at 12, so as a tight end 1, and Musgrave down here at 22. I'm going to pivot a little bit and say I'm a little bit more on the tight end upside right now. So if you want to play it safe, you got some risks. I don't know. Maybe you had to make that decision between Dalvin Cook and Breece Hall, and you're like, I've already got some risks here. I might go with Schultz, but I'm personally going to look for the upside. I'm actually going to suggest Luke Musgrave for this one with Watson out because, what are the 2 biggest things for young quarterbacks that are still materializing in their offense? It would be pass catching receivers or pass catching running backs out of the backfield and tight ends, safety nets. Or if you have like a really, really solid Christian Kirk type of slot receiver, which the Packers don't. So Luke Musgrave would be that guy for me. Zay's Sports Cards, Keenan Allen or T. Higgins PPR?
Oh, I love Keenan Allen this week. He's a top 10 receiver for me. I'm just expecting Justin Herbert to light it up and light it up directly to Keenan Allen.
Keenan Allen. This is a big Keenan Allen for me. Nothing against T. Higgins. That is a much tougher matchup. I think there could be a little bit more ground and pound in that game. I think that Charger-Dolphins game is going to go up. Dolphins, by the way, probably one of my favorite road dogs. Road dog Miami Dolphins. I was going to do a DX thing. Road dog Jesse James. But, +3 for the Dolphins. But I think it's just going to be high flying for that game. Yeah. We have Jameson, Jordan Addison, or Van Jefferson in half PPR. The Rams have nobody outside of T. Higgins. Van Jefferson is a theoretical number 1. So what do you think, Tara?
I mean, I got to go with, I know it's riskier, but I do have to go with Jordan Addison on this one. I'm terrified of what that receiving core is going to look like for the Rams. And again, I lean aggressively towards Higbee on this one. So I think that Jordan Addison is probably the safer bet.
I actually want to see what this one is over on that ranks. I would go Addison. I think I already said Addison was 37 on this list. Van Jefferson has moved up to 43 though, but we just don't know. We don't know anything. But I was tempted beyond belief to want to take every Puka Nacua prop this week, just simply because that team is also garbage and they're going to have to get it somewhere. I think we all think Higbee is going to be, 7, 8, 9, 10 targets today. But where else are they going to go? Van Jefferson is kind of their more deeper route wide receiver, but that's why it was like you see 2.5 receptions on Puka Nacua. You just want to take it. But I would go with Addison. Addison's a far better player. I'd rather have the better player in that offense than Van Jefferson just having a starting spot. Jeffrey Leva says, thoughts on Evan Hull? So let's just turn this into a, you got a flex spot, Deion Jackson or Evan Hull. I will tell you, Tara, I'm a Deion Jackson guy this week for what we talked about. Tara and I did an awesome stream on Tuesday. I'll repeat it here. Those just rookie first set running backs into offenses. The Lions showed us exactly the same thing where Dan Campbell was like, well, I just wanted to get him to really see the NFL and see the first game. I think you get a lot of that around the NFL, and giving, these young guys the first full go. I just don't see Evan Hull getting that. And I think Deion Jackson is going to be the guy that is going to be a lot of the, not to say that Hull's not going to score a touchdown, but I think out of the backfield receiving and running, you're going to see Deion Jackson. So he's sneaky to me this week. So I'm Deion Jackson when we're breaking down Evan Hull. Do you feel any different?
No, I'm 100% with you. I mean, you want to roster Evan Hull because we've got confirmation this is going to be the hot hand and it can go either direction. So I lean towards going with Deion Jackson. It can be a strong week for him. Jacksonville's defense is obviously questionable, but you get a little bit concerned about what's going to happen in terms of easing Evan Hull in. So hold him for the long term. It could happen over the next 2 weeks or so, but Deion Jackson for now.
Let's look this one. I think Hull is going to be the one on the fantasy by most of the rankers, not me. We have Evan Hull at 52. No, I'm wrong. 52 and Deion Jackson at 39. So Deion Jackson is like right there, almost as a flex start for league. So there you go. Friggle says Anthony Richardson or Sam Howell. Richardson going up against the Jags, which I actually think is a pretty good matchup. I have Richardson as a surprise QB1 this week, just simply because I think of garbage time. I would liken it back to like old Justin Fields day, but Sam Howell's going against the worst team in the NFL. So Tara, what do you think?
Yeah. Well, being that he is going against the worst team in the NFL, again, they can rely on the run. So we've got Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson. They don't have to light it up through the air. They can maybe do that early and then just lean on the run. But again, with Anthony Richardson, there could be garbage time. There could be playing from behind. And Jacksonville's defense, we saw it last year. And to me, they did nothing to improve on what they had last year. So again, this will be a matchup that he can exploit. It may be shaky. With Jonathan Taylor out, Deion Jackson being the lead back, maybe this is where we see them lean more. They get into the red zone and they're looking at Anthony Richardson to take him on in. So we could get a couple of rushing touchdowns here, maybe.
And keep getting you guys questions in. You guys are doing a great job. Every single one of you, if you are subscribed to the YouTube channel, when you put your question in, you are entering yourself in to potentially win that AJ Green autographed jersey, which is pretty cool. Look at that. Look at that thing. That's so pretty. I love jerseys. You can see Corbin Carroll back here. That looked pretty good up in my backdrop, but I think it looked pretty good in all of yours. So make sure you do that. Comment now, subscribe, and you're locked in. All right. AZU, full PPR for flex, DeAndre Hopkins, Brandon Cooks, or Khalil Herbert. The classic wide receiver running back setup here. Khalil Herbert being the guy going up against the Packers, which I think is interesting. I look at this as Hopkins versus Khalil Herbert, if I'm being honest, Tara, but you tell me.
I do too. And it's tough. It's tough because I easily see this as a game where, again, we go back to these rookies. We're talking about, is Rashawn Johnson going to play a major role early on? We might not see that in week one. This could be a heavy 100-yard game from Khalil Herbert. Maybe he gets a chance to catch a couple of passes here. So this one is really tough because Hopkins is Hopkins, right? You're always looking at 15 to 20 from him on a given Sunday. I want to say go with Hopkins, but I do like Khalil Herbert. It's tough. Full PPR, maybe I make it lean towards Hopkins in that instance.
I'm with Tara. I'm going Khalil Herbert as well. I think that is a tough one. Hopkins should be littered with tons of targets, but I don't trust Ryan Tannehill. I don't know what that offense looks like, and I just really like Khalil Herbert. This is more about me liking Khalil Herbert than it is trying to bring Hopkins down. You know what? Maybe Hopkins is actually safer at the end of the day. Maybe Hopkins is the floor play because we know who he is in general, and we've got some questions about who's Rashawn Johnson going to be, but I think we see a heavy dose of Khalil Herbert in this first game. So I would trust him. That's where I would play on this one. Now we're getting to one of the biggest questions and pieces of news that broke last night around Mark Andrews not playing, because Keatsian asks tight end premium PPR, Gerald Everett or Isaiah Likely. So Tara, Isaiah Likely is not going to be caught up in a lot of the ranks here. I have kind of my feelings about it, but what say you, Everett or Likely in this spot?
Well, we got Mark Andrews officially out. We knew that it was leaning towards that direction, but it's officially happening. I do lean towards Isaiah Likely on this. I think he can get us a top 10 finish. I like Gerald Everett, but you got to remember Gerald Everett a lot of times last year, when on the rare occasion that there was a full, actual, healthy group, of that Chargers wide receiver core. He's a little hit or miss. So I think Isaiah Likely is the one I'm probably going to lean towards here, especially in tight end premium.
I think this is easy Isaiah Likely. I think I saw the stat that Likely in the 3 games, I think it was last year without Andrews, has been a tight end, top 10 tight end in that period of time. I this morning took the assumption that Mark Andrews was out, and I moved Likely to 7 at tight end. So he's a must start. He's an absolute must start as far as where this offense is going to go. It's built around the tight end. He's super athletic, and he fits right into that role. He's actually, ironically, if you look around the NFL and you look at like those tight end sets, he's the closest to like, we would never in our lives handcuff a tight end, but he's like the epitome of like the tight end handcuff, where he's a guy that you throw him into Mark Andrews' role. I'm not sure unless you look about like garbage tight ends, but if you look at the top end tight ends, he's one of the few that jumps in and becomes an easy top 8 tight end when replacing the other guy. I'm not sure. I'd have to like go through them and think, is there another tight end? Like Noah Gray kind of touched that, but I don't think this is the same situation. I don't know if there's another close guy. So Isaiah Likely is a must start this week if you've got the options. I actually think the biggest question is Isaiah. This is mine. This is Chris Welsh asking Tara, Isaiah Likely or Tyler Higbee. Where would you go?
I still have Tyler Higbee higher. Again, I think the volume might be there for him more so than Isaiah Likely, but it's tough.
I have
Likely is definitely a top 10 for me.
I have him one spot ahead. I have Higbee. It's Higbee and then Likely. So it's like it is a weird tight end week. It all looks weird. And we're still waiting on like the George. Have we gotten anything too? We were getting like breaking news in the back about George Kittle, because that's the one that I'm sitting on, because I got quite a few George Kittle leagues. So we'll be waiting for that one. William said full PPR, Elijah Moore or Pickens. And then he says Javonte Williams RB as flex. I don't know if he's asking all of those. So let's just stick to Moore or Pickens, Tara.
I would lean towards Pickens. And then maybe Jay Williams. Got to remember Javonte Williams and Jamal Williams. So we're a little bit torn on that one.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
It could be, if it's Jamal, then Jamal at flex. Maybe he's saying like the either or of like, I would go with Jamal Williams in the flex over if you were bumping down Elijah Moore. Javonte Williams, no.
Yeah, good call. You might be saying like I could start both the wideouts instead of whoever. Jamal Williams, this is a no-brainer. I'm just avoiding Javonte this week, and that might be a mistake. Whatever. If I was in this situation, I think this is Pickens. Because I think the 49ers secondary is not good. They have been susceptible for 10 plus years as a 49er fan of deep balls, and Pickens is exactly that type of guy. They bring their safeties in a lot, so the safeties can end up playing like linebacker role, so it's not a coverage thing. Pickens is the easy pick here. But Elijah Moore versus Javonte Williams, that's kind of tough. But just my worries about them having Samaje Perine is someone I think that they are going to give way more carries to than anyone's ready for. I probably would go with Elijah Moore, and I would take Williams. I could go either way on Javonte Williams, Elijah Moore. Jamal Williams, not close. It's not even close. Yeah. All right, Nathan asks, Tara and Welsh was a little goat. 2 for y'all, Brees or Sutton? So let's start with that one.
Sutton for sure. Again, I think we're both on the same page with being skeptical of Brees in this week. And Sutton, I think, is going to be a sneaky play for a lot of people when we consider that, Judy more than likely out. I don't think we got official yet, but more than likely out. And when Sutton has been the wide receiver 1 with no Judy, it's been fine. And we're also got a fantastic matchup against Vegas. So Sutton is one that I kind of am looking at and kind of like, I've said Sutton a lot today.
Yeah. Raiders, I mean, if you go off of last year's historical, gave up the 5th most passing yards, and, they were the worst. They had the least, I think they had 6 total interceptions the entire year. So their secondary is trash. Now, might be far improved, but you're going into a spot where Cortland Sutton should eat. I also like Marvin Mims a lot this week. I think Marvin Mims toes the wide receiver 3 territory. So this is a easy Sutton for me. On the tight end side, Nathan asked, Juwan Johnson or Schultz in half PPR. So you were talking up Schultz a little bit earlier. Juwan Johnson do anything for you?
Yeah, he does a lot of stuff this week. The matchup against Tennessee and the way that they have struggled, Schultz is definitely the safer option for sure. There's a lot more big mouths to feed. We've got healthy Michael Thomas, in this offense as well. So that is concerning, but again, I can just see a nice Juwan Johnson touchdown this week for him. So I lean towards Juwan Johnson going ahead and taking that swing on him.
Check out some NFL contest action over here at Fantasy Pros and Betting Pros. Users can join the NFL contest group by visiting the community tab in the Betting Pros app or by going to the link directly, bettingpros.com/NFL contest. A contest is going to have weekly and season to date leaderboards, weekly minimum of 5 NFL picks per week to qualify. I love those. Season to date minimum of 100 picks during the season to qualify. And the prizes, this is what you care about on the NFL contest. Grand prize will receive an autographed Jackson Smith and Jigba jersey, and numerous weekly and monthly winners are going to receive swag from our Fantasy Pros and Betting Pros shop, the brand new hat, and you can get a 1-year premium upgrade to both on the apps. So go and check them out today. Get that going for the NFL contest. I am going to be a part of it. I'm over on Betting Pros, so you can play up against me and be better, dominate me, be like, oh, Welsh stinks, he sucked this week. All right, I'm looking at this, I'm like, there's no chance we're gonna have this many tight end questions any other week. It is insane the amount. I don't blame you guys either. I don't blame you, but it is tight end hell this week. Jason asks, full PPR, Dulcich, Luke Musgrave, Jake Ferguson. So this is bottom barreling. That sounds like someone that just lost Mark Andrews, Jason. So what say you, Tara? Dulcich, Musgrave, Ferguson. I think everyone knows I'm going to say Musgrave here, but this is a lot closer.
I have been fighting myself on how high I move Musgrave up. It's Musgrave for me in this grouping, for sure. Yeah, it's a tough one. Not between these guys, but it's a tough one on how much we want to move Musgrave up and trust him, because again, he could legitimately be the second pass catching option in that offense.
Yeah, Dulcich is 18 and Ferguson is 19, by the way, for the Fantasy Pros tight end week 1 ranks for everybody. And I think, did I mention before? I think Musgrave is the lowest. He's at 22. I think that's a mistake.
Yeah,
I'm a Musgrave guy. Brandon says, full PPR flex, Ayuk, Cooks, Hollywood Brown, who's still holding that questionable tag, or Raheem Mostert. 1 full PPR flex. Ayuk, Brandon Cooks, Hollywood Brown, Raheem Mostert. What do you say?
It's Mostert. Again, we've got Devin Achane is going to be out. So it's going to be aggressively Raheem Mostert in this game. In a game they're going to move the ball well. There's going to be receiving opportunities, goal line opportunities. So yeah, just go ahead and go with Raheem Mostert on this one.
I will also say Devin Achane, I believe I saw this morning, is lining up to not be active. So that's one more good thing. So that essentially leaves Mostert and Salvon Ahmed. I agree. I'm going to go with Mostert on this one. I do think this is close. Ayuk can be a wide receiver too, but I think that's just a tougher defensive matchup with the Steelers. I'm kind of indifferent about Brandon Cooks. Hollywood Brown, worst team in the NFL. I'll be shocked, if they have 15 completions at any point this year. So I'll go with Mostert pretty easy on this one. Here's another tight end one. Dan asks, Taysom Hill or Juwan Johnson? So upside of Taysom Hill doing Taysom Hill things versus the keys of Juwan Johnson being the number 1 tight end. This is a weird, tough one. I would stick with Juwan Johnson. Taysom Hill, his entire worth is usually 3 games all season. So it's week 1. What the hell do we know that he's going to be? Quarterback, screens. I just don't know what he's going to be in this one. So I would rather go with Juwan Johnson, who I think is a absolute touchdown threat this week.
Yeah, I agree. It's Juwan for me.
I should look too. What does Juwan's anytime touchdowns are? That might be a really fun bet if you're an anytime touchdown bettor and you like to do those over on bettingpros.com. Maybe you can put that one in. Matt says, Tara, a defense question: Broncos, Jags, or Seahawks? This is only to you. Said Tara. Says you only get to answer this. I'm devoid.
It is the Broncos. I will go with the Broncos. I get why you want to do the Seahawks. I'm going to avoid the Jags just because there's a scenario where things could come together for Anthony Richardson, right? He's that type of athlete, and touchdowns could happen. I get why the Seahawks are very appealing. Obviously, there's a lot that could go on here. The offense for the Rams definitely on the struggle bus, but I really do like the Raiders in this matchup, I don't like the Raiders in this matchup. So the Broncos for me.
All right. T Squire Khalil Herbert or Deontay Johnson, full PPR. Ooh, I talked about the 49ers secondary. It's going to stink. Deontay Johnson looking for that bounce back. But we also talked about where Khalil Herbert could be. What say you, Tara? Running back, the classic running back, wide receiver, flex spot here.
It's still Khalil Herbert for me. I get where Deontay could go off, although I think maybe the way that he plays could be a little bit probably leans a little bit more George Pickens, in my opinion. I think Khalil Herbert's just the safer bet.
Man, I'm a little bit self-hating 49er fan here. I just think wide receivers versus the 49ers are going to eat. And I think the Steelers are going to be passing. And if you think the 49ers are going to be up in this at all, which I know that's not the betting favorite, then the Steelers are going to be passing and Deontay is going to be a part of it. Full PPR, I'm going to go with Deontay. If this was half, I think I would go Khalil. Full, I'm going to go Deontay because I'm not going to be surprised when he gets 7 catches in this game. So I'm going to go on that side. Silent says full PPR, Cam Akers, Raheem Mostert, or TJ Hawkinson. What do you think, Tara?
Oh, I mean, TJ Hawkinson. You're going to pull me off of Mostert. It's going to be TJ Hawkinson.
Oh, I hate this question. Stupid in the best way. I don't like it because I think Hawkinson's like by default, like tight end 1 or 2. I really think Cam Akers is good. Like you want to talk about, we talked about the devoid of weapons and stuff. They're gonna have to be throwing, and they're gonna have to be throwing probably into the backfield because how are they going to be able to? And I'm talking about the Rams, by the way. How are they going to be able to stretch the field? And that just means like, don't be shocked if Cam Akers gets 3, 4, 5 catches in this while being the primary running back. But I can't go against the number one, probably the number 1 tight end this week at this point in Hawkinson. But I hate this one. This is a really, really tough one. All right. JP says a ton of acres. Did we have a bunch of acres on Tuesday? What was our group? Remember we had like it was Akers.
Yeah.
Who I don't remember the other players. We had like 4 guys.
Yeah, because I think at that point the Cooper Kupp was not out officially, but like we knew. So
yeah, and I think we had like the Kelsey questions, the Kupp questions, and I felt like there was like 4 billion Cam Akers question. It's the all live stream team is what I'm getting at here. Cam Akers apparently is on that list. Akers, Connor, Ken Walker. Oh, we get to start 2 of them. So I talked up Cam Akers. I'm absolutely starting Akers, and I'm starting Ken Walker. Same back to the rookie running back stuff. I'm going Ken Walker and Akers. I get why you would want to put Connor in. Tara, do you want to put Connor in that group?
I do.
But
I do. I think I would go Connor over Walker. I know. But in my mind, what I'm seeing here is that they are playing from behind. And I see James Conner with a good like 6 receptions in this one. So while it could be ugly on the ground, again, we're talking a 3 down back with pass catching upside, and we've seen what he can produce. It just makes we've seen him put up literal top 5 numbers in terrible situations playing from behind just because they have no other option of what to do. So I can't pull off of James Conner.
Sometimes volume is king, and that may be the case. Like I'm being very dramatic. I think my thing with the Cardinals is I just don't know what they are. So if I have tough decisions, I want to go against them. But you're really not wrong for going into volume because they're just, garbage time is in play every single week for them. But like Dobbs is the quarterback. What is that going to look like? Probably does mean a lot of James Conner. So just also Keontae Ingram might be like one of the most needed deeper league guys to hold on to because like what else is there if Connor were to go down, and he's done that before. These are tough questions, and tough questions you can get even more insight if you're over on the Fantasy Pros Discord. You can join the conversation at fantasypros.com/chat. Ask the questions, get involved, be a part of all the fun stuff at fantasypros.com/chat. Get in on the Discord. Jennifer asks, Pat Freiermuth or Isaiah Likely full PPR. I'm going to start here for 1 second because Fred Warner is one of the best cover linebackers in the entire NFL. And I see tight ends, and I just don't think it's going to happen because you're going to see Warner get in probably on the running backs at some points. We also heard that we might see some splits from Jaylen Warren and Najee Harris. Both of them, I think, are just, especially Najee Harris is just down in ranks this week. But Fred Warner is going to line up with a receiving tight end on Firemouth. I don't like that, even though he may do some stuff, but Fred Warner is one of the best. And I already talked up Likely. This is easy Isaiah Likely for me. I don't mean to be so dismissive and be like, oh, it's so easy and Firemouth's going to go have a touchdown. But it is. I'm going to go with what that, the numbers as far as defensively, what Warner can do. Do you feel any different, though? Because Pat Firemouth is top 8 tight end every single week.
No, I lean towards Likely as well. It's weird because what we're basing that offense in terms of the tight end usage on, that offense is now gone. So we are taking a leap that there's going to be the same, but it's an offense with Mark Andrews. There was no way that Todd Monken was going to phase him out. So it'll probably still run through the tight end position. Just, makes me slightly nervous, but I still lean towards Likely.
All right. Diego says, good morning. Good morning, Diego. Is OBJ worth picking up here? I actually find myself uncomfortably ranking OBJ up and up and up in that offense because I think Lamar Jackson is going to want to target him. But I don't know. What do you think, Tara? Do you think we need to wait it out until we see? Because here's the problem. You go and pick up OBJ right now, you're golden if he ends up working out. And also, if he doesn't, you just cut him for whatever hot waivers out there. But if he does go out there and gets 8-9 targets from Lamar Jackson and he's available on the wire, probably going to be one of the top pickups when you're battling out waivers early in the week. But what do you think? OBJ, is he done or is he someone that should be rostered?
I don't think he's done. I mean, again, unfortunately, it all comes down to who you're dropping for him. But I think he's worthy of a roster spot. While he won't be the target hog in this offense, again, I think what we could see OBJ transition to is a key red zone target for Lamar Jackson.
I think he could be a target hog on this team. I don't think we're done. Especially today, I want to point out, when you do take out Mark Andrews on here, Likely is going to be good, but OBJ is one of those guys. We have to see where Zay Flowers is going to end up being, but you wouldn't really call it Rashad Bateman someone you're comfortable putting across the middle of the field. They've got guys that stretch the field a little bit more. OBJ is 100% a guy that you can put across the field and feel comfortable with while missing Mark Andrews. I think this week OBJ could be a surprise, but I also think he could be kind of a target hog moving forward because Bateman and Zay Flowers, those aren't lockdown wide receivers. There's nothing that says oh yeah, OBJ can't overtake either one of those guys. We just don't know where the connection's going to go. So I would, depending what other guys that are out there, I would pick up OBJ because I do think there's the potential for him to be a heavy target guy. It'll just be what kind of impact is it? Doesn't help if it's 7 catches for 45 yards down the middle, but in the red zone, I think Tara nailed it. In the red zone, he might be a primary wide receiver to look out for. Dennis asks us, Christian Kirk or Tyler Algier in the flex?
Christian Kirk. Yeah, I know probably Ridley's making a little bit nervous, but regardless, he's still the wide receiver 2 in that offense. And we saw what Zay Jones did as the wide receiver 2 in that offense. And Christian Kirk he's very talented, so he can produce. So
yeah, this is Kirk, but I do think Tyler Algier is going to get a little bit more run than what ranks would expect. I want to say, let me look at where Tyler Algier is because Christian Kirk is kind of firmly a top 30, top 25 wide receiver. Algier is running back 39 right now, so that's almost a flex, but he's not quite there. I think you might get double-digit carries from Tyler Algier this week. I don't know what that'll amount to, but I wouldn't put a touchdown off of his plate either. Joe Blue says Pickens or Zay Flowers. So an AFC North wide receiver battle here. Pickens or Flowers for you, Tara?
It is Pickens. For the record, I am a massive Zay Flowers fan. So yeah. So if I'm saying Pickens, just go ahead and do Pickens. I get it though.
Yeah, I mean Flowers could be the number one. I'm going to go with Pickens though because I've already kind of talked that up here. T. Wright said best replacement for Andrews at tight end. We've talked. I know you might be just got here. Isaiah Likely would probably be the best replacement. Higbee, if he's out there. We've talked about Musgrave, but Likely should be the guy that you go pick up if you're replacing Andrews. T. Wright. Sean says Jalen Waddle or Rashad White, Tara.
We're still going Jalen Waddle. I mean, Rachaad White. This could be a Rachaad White 10 target game. It genuinely could, but still go with Jalen Waddle.
How about another Rachaad White question then? I agree. It's Jalen Waddle. Mike, Rachaad White, Drake London, or Mostert for half PPR flex? And you're welcome, Mike. You said thank you. So London, Mostert, or Rachaad White?
I still lean towards Mostert, knowing that, again, he is going to receive the aggressive bulk of the workload there in a game that should, see a ton of points.
Rachaad White for me. I'm a hammer Rachaad White guy today. I hammered his, again, if you go over to Betting Pros, you can find me on there. You can follow, you can see what bets I've got. I even created for my other stuff, in this league, I've created a little Betting Pros group called Bet This League. And Rachaad White's receiving prop this week is just a hammer for me. I think I absolutely think we are going to hit over that 20, and I think he's going to be a bulk guy. So I'm very heavy on Rachaad White this week. Edward Ryan said sit one in PPR, Herbert, Walker, or James Cook. So we've got to sit one of those dudes.
It's got to be James Cook.
Yeah, defensively against the Jets, it probably is James Cook. Also, if they're going to be running a little bit less and then you get into goal line situations and it goes to Harris, that probably makes him less enticing. I don't feel as confident. I feel like I don't feel as confident as you just were about it, but I think you're right. I feel a little dicey about that. On the second question here. Robert, bench one in half PPR. Dotson, Najee, Akers, or Connor. Dotson, Najee, Akers, Connor. Got a bench one half PPR.
Oh man, you got to bench Najee. It feels weird to say that.
No, you're going to do that. I knew you were going to do that.
I don't like that, but you gotta.
What do you think he's ranked? What do you think Najee's ranked on Fantasy Pros Week 1 ranks? Take a guess.
I would still think that he's still relatively high-ish, maybe like 16,
19.
Oh,
so, I mean,
lower than I would have thought.
He's barely right under him is Rachaad White. Montgomery was there. James Conner. Above him, Miles Sanders, who smashed this week. I love Miles Sanders. Madison and Walker all ranked above him on the consensus ranks, which is crazy. All right. 15-minute warning for everybody. We've got 15 minutes. I think we're all going to jump over collectively to the Betting Pros side after this, but get your questions in. We will try to do some speed rounds here. Probably not going to get to everybody. I said this on last Tuesday's stream. I'll say it again. Get in early if you want a guaranteed for us to answer your question, because you guys are awesome and you guys are absolutely littering the chat with a gajillion questions, but we go from top to bottom. So if you want them in, make sure that you get in nice and early in on here. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you're notified and put on notifications. You get notified anytime we go live, like when we had Pisapia and Erickson. I mean, if you weren't there, you missed out on the booty call shirt, which I think we all need to don now. We really are going to need the BOUTTE booty shirt, the booty call shirt in the Fantasy Pros shop. So John, I'm just telling you, you can get in on the people that make the things happen. But if you're notified, you'll get notifications every time we go live, because there's tons and tons of great content. And later tonight, I'm going to be back. I'm going to be back on here with Scott Bogman, and we're going to be recapping everything for the day. So make sure you guys are locked in. All right, little bit more rapid fire as best we can. Tristan said Bateman or Hopkins today, Tara?
Hopkins. Yeah. Sorry, I got distracted by a couple of little, Cordero Patterson isn't active. We had the Tyler Algier question earlier, so it does matter a little bit there.
Oh, is he inactive?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh,
there are inactives coming out right now, guys.
Yeah, I mean, we'll try to do that as we can see it. I can't look at 12 things at once, so anybody in the chat, in our chat and our private chat, wants to post those, please do. By the way, I'm looking at the Steelers. I'm looking for the 49er. Okay, the 49ers, it looks like I still don't see them. I thought I just saw them. I'm looking to see if if my guy, George Kittle, is inactive or not. He is active. Okay, so George Kittle is officially active for this week. So that means you put him out there. I'm not going to play any Isaiah Likely or George Kittle stuff. So we just got our actives. Yeah, it's interesting that the Falcons would do that with how much they built up this joker position, that maybe they just didn't feel comfortable with it. Here's what I will say. One of my favorite props of today as well, is twofold. Bijan Robinson's receiving yard prop is 13.5 yards. His longest receiving prop, which is this Bogman special, is 9.5. You get Patterson out as well. Bijan might play some of whatever that pseudo joker role is. And what you might see is Tyler Algier taking some of those stupid early, just down the middle runs. And Bijan Robinson is going to play more of that explosive role. He's going to catch today. So I really love that. And seeing Patterson out tells me that, that might be Bijan a little bit more in that role. So that's exciting. I don't see any other crazy inactives as I'm looking through the list though right now. I don't know if you do. And then we'll get back to all your questions.
Just some mildly non-fantasy relevant disappointing ones. Levis.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so back to it. It was what did I just ask you? Bateman or Hopkins? Did we do that one?
Yes.
Okay.
We were Hopkins.
Yeah, Hopkins. Jonathan. PPR, Brandon Ayuk or Zay Flowers?
Brandon Ayuk.
That is Ayuk as well. Matt Larson, Jaden Reed, JSN, or P. Ryan?
Oh, that one's a special question. I would lean towards going with Jaden Reed, but I mean, P. Ryan could also be a viable option as well. That one's tough.
I want to tell you, Jaden Reed, I'm going to say JSN because really? I talked about P. Ryan, but I just don't know what it's going to be. If I've got like good receiving options, which I think these both are, Jaden Reed is a number 2, but JSN is going to probably play still a significant role and has looked healthy. I would go JSN, but I'm totally cool with Jaden Reed. I'm probably fading P. Ryan of this one. So however you want to go. You maybe feel a little bit more confident with Jaden Reed, to be honest with you, because of the JSN injury. So D says, do I start Madison or Connor half PPR?
Probably go ahead and go with Madison over Connor.
I would also go with Madison. Premium, what is this, Gary, with premium? McBride or Patterson's out, so that answered that. The tight end premium he meant that was Trey McBride or Cordell Patterson, but Patterson's out, so it doesn't matter. Full PPR, Dobbins or Pittman? That's from RL.
I would go with Dobbins. I like him in this matchup. This could be a very, very productive week for him.
Yeah, I think Dobbins can easily be a top, can be an RB1 this week. So absolutely Dobbins here. Jeffrey says likely over Firemouth and Juwan Johnson. Yes.
Yeah, I think we said that earlier.
Yeah, we've definitely said that one. Full PPR, Ayuk, Brandon Cook. Didn't we have? I think we had this exact same one. Yeah. Let's see. Go says Gibson or P. Ryan. Full PPR. We're both going to go Gibson here.
Yeah,
right?
You're going Gibson.
Okay. I'm going to move past some of these. We're getting a lot of the same tight end questions that are in here. Here you go. PPR Superflex. Brock Purdy or Marvin Mims? It's always I'm going quarterback in that situation.
Yeah, I'm still going. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just making sure. AJ says, okay, this is a great one. Deion Jackson or Javonte Williams this week? Your call.
I would be going with Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sorry. It is Deion Jackson. 100%. He's going to be the guy. I think he's going to be over there over Hull. So his props too were sitting around 60 total yards, which doesn't feel super great. But, if the Colts are playing from behind, which they should be, Deion Jackson is a pretty good receiving back as well. So I think they go in that direction. Bill says Ramondre Stevenson or Khalil Herbert PPR. Who's Ramondre?
Yeah, I've been very pro Khalil Herbert, but it is Ramondre.
All right. Sebastian, full PPR, DJ Moore or DeAndre Hopkins? DJ Moore's got that tough matchup against Jair Alexander, which has got me a little bit worried. But what say you, Moore or Hopkins?
Yeah, I kind of lean towards DeAndre Hopkins again. I think that matchup with Green Bay and Chicago is going to be aggressively played on the ground. We've seen Jair lock down Justin Jefferson. Can do it to DJ Moore.
I'm going to go Hopkins as well, but the FantasyPros consensus ranks says DJ Moore, who's 22, Hopkins at 24, but we're both going with Hopkins. Let's try to get through some more here. I'm moving past a couple of the I'm telling you, the tight end ones are wild here. Ramondre Stevenson, Jamal Williams, Cortland Sutton, pick 2, full PPR.
Oh, fancy, especially full PPR. Yeah. I still really like Ramondre Stevenson this week, assuming New England is going to have to play from behind and throw a decent amount as well. No Devontae Parker. I just think this is a nice receptions game for Ramondre. So between Jamal and Cortland Sutton, and full PPR, Again, I am gonna, Chris, I feel like you're gonna knock me on the head for this one, but I am going Cortland Sutton over Jamal Williams. I get it, but again, with this Jamal Williams matchup, the volume, yes, but again, it's just terrible matchup. The Titans have just been so aggressive against the run, and Cortland Sutton, wide receiver 1, in a matchup against Vegas, I just can't pass that up. I know I can't do it.
No bonks on the head, but I am going to go with Jamal Williams just because if this team moves the ball at all, Jamal Williams is the guy. There's no Kendre Miller. There's no Alvin Kamara. This is Jamal's game. This is his run. And if they get inside the 5, we know it's going to him. So I know it is full PPR, but I mean, I think I haven't looked at all the touchdown props. I want to say that Austin Eckler, I think, is the highest I saw, -220 to score a touchdown, which is stupid. Aaron Jones is up there, but Jamal Williams should be up there as well to score a touchdown. So I know it's full PPR, but yeah, I'm going to go with Jamal. Tara's going to go with Sutton. I don't blame it. All right. Even more rapid fire. Treylon Burks or Zach Charbonnet, full PPR?
Treylon Burks.
Burks. McLaurin, Herbert, or Gibson, full PPR from Dylan?
I could still go with Terry McLaurin.
All right, I was like, you answer first on that one. I think I would go with Herbert on that one. Miles Sanders or Jamal Williams? Ooh, this is putting me to a test from William.
You already I'm going with Miles Sanders on this one.
All right, I love Miles Sanders this week, like a lot. So I'm actually gonna go with Miles Sanders because of the PPR as well. Elijah Moore or Jaden Reed? I feel like we've had a version of this.
I would still go Elijah Moore.
All right, if you could stash one ahead of week 1, Elijah Mitchell, Ty Chandler, or Sean Tucker?
Oh, Elijah Mitchell. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Eli Mitchell as well. Half PPR. I love, this is my favorite thing when people put half PPR just to mess with me. Alexander says half PPR, Justin Fields or Geno Smith because it matters.
It's still Justin Fields for me.
That one is a troll one. I know that. All right. Chris says Deontay Johnson against San Francisco's negative game script or Jamal Williams workload of flex full PPR. So Jamal Williams or Deontay?
I would probably lean towards Jamal Williams on this one.
Oh, man. Did he said full PPR?
Yeah.
You guys are killing me here. I'm going to go with Deontay. I hate doing it.
Reasonable.
It might be Jamal. The answer might be Jamal here. Elijah Moore, Gabe Davis.
Elijah Moore. I don't like this matchup for Gabe, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'll go with Elijah Moore as well. Marquise Brown or Zay Flowers from Devon.
I would actually. Well, this one is tough because Marquise is coming off an injury. So if they get down, I mean, you could see Marquise pulled. That one is I would still you know what? I would probably risk it and go with Marquise. Sorry, that one is like really I would still go with Marquise.
That is
the injury. If there was no injury, I would head that direction just as the safer option. But
L said, have a good week 1, guys. Brian Robinson or Javonte Williams?
Brian Robinson.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if you were going to struggle on that one. I went with Brian as well. There's a lot of the same kind of questions we had here. Single quarterback, Daniel Jones or Derek Carr?
Daniel Jones, but I do like Derek Carr this week. Daniel Jones, though.
I'll go with Daniel Jones. I'm fine with it. I guess I'm a little bit indifferent about that one. Good morning. Sit 1.5 PPR. Rashad White, Devontae Smith, Miles Sanders. Thanks and happy first Sunday. You as well, my friend. So sit either White, Smith, Sanders. Yeah, one of those 3.
Oh man. I think you would have to sit Rashad. I don't like it, but yeah.
This is stupid. I don't want to say sit Rashad White, but you're right. You can't sit Devontae Smith. I think actually you could sit Devontae Smith. Ooh.
I can't do it.
I can't publicly say I'm going to say Devontae Smith because then when Devontae Smith goes off, I'm going to have John be like, John, go back to the video. Please cut that. Get rid of that because that was idiotic. But I do love Miles Sanders and Rashad White. Romeo Dobbs or JSN half PPR?
Go ahead and go JSN. The snap count limitations. It worries me. I can't Dobbs is uncomfortable.
See, this is how I'm going to go with Dobbs. Like, we're moving back here. You were shocked at my JSN one earlier. Just Dobbs is probably going to be the number one, but you're right. I don't know what that's going to end up looking at. All right, so this is going to be like Magic 8 Ball. I'm going to just randomly pick some questions in here for people because we got tons. Swift or P. Ryan PPR? Back to Swifty, right?
I would still go Swift. Yeah.
Okay, Swift. London, Sutton, Bateman PPR. I'm guessing pick one.
I would go with London. I do like London this week.
Ooh, over Sutton?
Yeah. I do still really still really like London this week.
I agree on that one. Half PPR, Terry McLaurin or Cortland Sutton again?
I'll still go Terry.
I'm gonna go with Sutton. On
Really?
that. I mean, I love Terry McLaurin. I just don't know what like this week is gonna look like.
Yeah.
Full PPR flex, Dalvin Cook or JSN?
Dalvin Cook. Yeah.
Agreed. Cousins or Prescott?
Still go Dak.
Okay, and then how about last one here from Andrew? Zay Flowers or Marvin Mims? Wide receiver 3.
I will go Zay Flowers over Marvin Mims.
Also going to, but I don't feel super comfortable about it. All right, couple things to remind you guys. AJ Brown jersey giveaway. We're going to be giving it away on this channel at some point in the future here, so make sure you're subscribed. If you did a comment, you already locked yourself in. Boom. You're having tough decisions to make. There's a couple things you can do. You can join the Discord over on Fantasy Pros, fantasypros.com/chat. Get in on all the awesome stuff. Do it today. Plus, get in on my playbook. Manage your fantasy football lineups. Dominate your leagues with the playbook. The tools in there are unheard of. I already told you, literally got emails that I was making a wrong decision because you synced all of your leagues. Fantasy Pros has got you hooked up. fantasypros.com/myplaybook, or you can just directly download it over on your Apple or Android device, and go to bettingpros.com/NFL contest. You want to join up with the NFL contest where there's some awesome prizes, JSN autographed jersey. We've got swag, the new hats and everything going on over Fantasy Pros and Betting Pros, plus 1-year premium upgrades. John, are we going over to Betting Pros? I think Betting Pros has got us hooked up for some of the best bets. Isn't that happening here on the YouTube channel? Shake head, yes. Is that what's going on? Betting Pros? Okay, yeah. So go over to Betting Pros. We want to check them out. Who's on Betting Pros today? I didn't even look who it is. Do we know? Is it John's looking for me? I just want to know. I want to know who we get to give all the credit to for all the bets. So Betting Pro, well, either way, go to bettingpros.com on the YouTube. You're going to see what awesome people are there. You can also track all the bets. Lots of great props this week. Tara, I don't know if you liked how hard you like to get into the betting, but my when we get off of here, I'm not only going to set my lineups, but I'm going to get all locked in with all of my bets. So Tara, it's Tara time. Any last fleeting thought before we get out of here for week 1?
No, the only thing is if you have a stable tight end to start over Darren Waller, don't feel afraid to do it. A Chig or an Isaiah Likely or something. If you can do it, just in case. I don't hate it.
Yeah, week 1 also. Maybe just don't quite overthink it. But if it is difficult, we gave you some outlets. You can also, I definitely suggest go follow Tara at It's Tara Time. You can follow me at Is It The Welsh. We can answer some of your questions. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We will be back next week, and I will be back later tonight as we're live streaming for the Sunday recap. So make sure you guys are locked into that. Scott Bogman, and myself. That is it. Good luck. Go over to Betting Pros. Let's lock this down. And we got more for you right here on Fantasy Pros. Until the next time, my friends, have a great one and enjoy all the football. Bye-bye.